are Squawking Dead. I'm your host, David Cameo. With me is BMNY Deadcast Chris, CosmoMom09. No, you can't quit. I quit first. CosmoMom09, and Meg the Geek, who quits in every episode at least 3 times, so you get your money's worth.
It's my trademark. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a couple weeks. We've got 5 weeks left to our giveaway. SQUAWKINGDEAD.com. We're here to give you a Cameo.com shout out to any cast member from The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. And if we keep getting more followers and stuff like that, subscribers, etc., likes on Facebook, on their Facebook page, and we hit the 1,000 mark, we open up another winner slot. If we get 2,000, we open up another winner slot. If we keep getting 1,000 on each platform, there's 6 winner spots. So why haven't you logged in some entries at SQUAWKINGDEAD.com? Why? Just why?
Because I'm a co-host?
Yeah, well, you know, goodbye, Meg. Why don't you quit again?
We need to dive deep.
Yeah. Is that what I said? Well, speaking of that, diving deep, we're going to dive deep into some announcements. So
Chris has feelings. You got to let him get it out.
In case, well, he'll get some feelings out. Oh boy, howdy, we're going to get it out. NYCC, we're coming for you, man. New York Comic Con, we have a panel Thursday night at 6:30 so far. We even have the rooms. We just want to make sure that we still have that same room come time. So we'll give you all the details as it comes around. We're producing videos and images to promote this thing. New York Comic Con, if you are going, we will be there Thursday night to host a TWD panel with some special guests, some questions from the audience, and just to talk about us for a little while, you know, obviously like 10, 20 minutes, whatever it's going to be. Ask each other some questions, ask you guys some questions, cosplayers, etc. So join us at New York Comic Con. How many times have I said New York Comic Con? A lot.
About 4 or 5.
4 or 5. I think that's the required amount before we quit. We quit, Bag, before we quit.
Yes.
Okay, so
you guys ain't quitting on me at all.
No, she quits on the show.
I might quit the panel mid-panel. Who knows?
Right.
Nope.
Her quitting shows her dedication.
Because I come back all over, every single time.
No, she just never leaves. You know, like that guest that says, "I'm leaving," and they just never go. They just trying to make a point.
Oh my God, what's the character's name in Office Space? Have you seen my stapler? She's always down in storage, just hanging out.
It's like it has to be that red slimline stapler too.
Streamlined.
I'm short enough, so I might as well be in storage. I'm short, so I'm like below.
You should cosplay as the stapler.
I'm good, thank you. I'm very good without. I'm good without doing that.
Meg the Geek, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Moving along to even bigger news. If you could believe there'd be something bigger than New York Comic Con. Well,
explosions.
In our world, this thing is bigger. Walker Stalker Atlanta, we have a table. We're working on some other things, but we have a table at Walker Stalker. Come see us. I have plans to set up a surge protector for you cosplayers who wants to charge your phones. I have ideas when it comes to a cooling station for you guys, and just to kind of hang out, talk with us. This will be like your way station at Walker Stalker. Just kind of cool your jets, have some discussions if you want, or just not talk at all and just look at each other awkwardly. Either way, we're going to be there. We're going to give away some free stuff, just some small things, and we may even raffle off a couple of cool things that would be hanging from the rafters. So who knows? That's what the Slack conversation's about. So we'll be talking more about that in the days to come. But either way, we are going to be there. It's going to be me, Chris, Meg the Geek, and OG Squawking D Carol G, who's not here, so she didn't deserve that.
Yeah, wait, what the hell was that? We should all get intros.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, chopped liver.
No, just OG Squawking D.
You know what,
Carol
Chris?
G gets that intro.
Chris and Meg the Geek.
What you gonna do, brother?
What you gonna do, brother? Yeah.
Bring it.
New York Comic Con.
And then Rachel's just gonna wave.
You didn't like BM and like Deadcast, Chris.
Rachel, we love you.
Meg the Geek. No, yeah. I gave her like a bigger intro.
I'm over here.
Well, this week I gave you a bigger intro, like Rachel Burt, CosmoMom09, and that's it. That's all. Just the 5 of us.
Geek.
The 4 of us.
That's
Is there 5 of us? I have a split personality. Anyway, this is going off the rails.
I'm gonna go back to this hiding map.
I'm just gonna work on my core for a little while.
I'm going to get my stand-in.
Okay, so Rachel Burt, you need to talk to us about your plans that may get disrupted
and what
it's for.
Mother Nature's being such a bitch right now. I'm really hoping that this hurricane doesn't disrupt my trip plans for this weekend, because I saved up for a really, really long time to make this happen. And if it does happen, Saturday night, live on hopefully lots of things, but mostly Instagram. Thorgon 9 from Instagram. He's going to be down in Sonoy, Georgia at the same time I am. And Saturday night, he's going to be shaving my head. So everybody watch.
Wow. How do you feel right now?
I feel, first of all, like, am I going to make it there? Because this hurricane's kind of throwing a wrench in my plans. So one problem at a time.
Okay, but I'm mainly talking about the hair.
It'll be weird for a little bit, but I think I'm going to really like it. That's what I'm telling myself. That's what I'm convincing myself. My hair is pretty short in the back right now anyway. So I keep kind of doing this, and I'm like, all right, that's what the whole thing's going to feel like soon.
Now, hold on now.
Okay.
Are you going to be going down to the skin, or are you going to go crew?
Well, I don't believe anyone has a license to use a straight blade. So, yeah. Would you probably use a straight bled though, right?
You can use a safety razor once you get far enough.
Well, I have a straight, right. Even with an electric, my electric clippers, which I don't think I can travel with, so I may have to buy a pair while I'm down there. I don't know how that's going to work. But even when you go no guard, there's still like
that little extra bit.
Yeah, there's still like a little stubble. So I don't think I'll be able to get all the way down to the skin. That requires a different license that I don't carry. So I can't use straight blades.
But, I mean, on Instagram, you were showing off some wigs, and they all looked great.
They look so good, by the way.
Now you got a couple of wigs. Debbie.
Did you post them to your feed? Because I don't think you did. I think you posted them to your
story.
stories.
They were on her feed.
I think it was just
story.
Yeah. Those are I have a couple of wigs just because wigs are fun, right? They're just fun. But I don't know. I'm getting a lot of things lined up in case because I really don't know how I'm gonna feel, and I don't know. I'm probably gonna cry. So if everyone likes watching people being tortured, I suggest you watch.
Oh yeah, that's what I want.
I mean, most people are sick and twisted and demented. Is that not why we watch The Walking Dead?
It's so hot to watch women cry. I love it.
Carol's gonna get it this season.
So hot.
No.
Well, if that woman is alpha.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sick people who want to see some interesting things happen to her.
Sure. So, my hair does grow really, really fast. So it's not going to look weird for long. And this is just something that I can do. You know what I mean? You know, we hit almost the goal. And I feel like even though we didn't quite hit it, there was still a lot of involvement. There was still a lot of people sharing and people involved. And we still raised a decent amount of money to go towards an amazing cause. I mean, St. Jude's is just absolutely amazing. I mean, they make sure that these children get their treatment no matter what. It's all free treatment, free lodging for their parents, and they all rely on these donations to make sure that happens. So I think it's really, really important to give.
And on that note, check out the YouTube description. The Facebook description probably doesn't have the link, but if you go to CosmoMom09 on her Instagram, there will be a link in her bio. And you can still donate right up until the day, probably. Maybe even beyond.
Actually, I think it ended a couple days ago, but you can still, I think you can still follow the link to the St. Jude website in general and make a donation on behalf of yourself.
And if you do, just let her know that you did, just in the spirit of just that moved you from her explanation for what she's trying to do. Just do it. Yeah. You know you want to. I mean, you know you want to. Why would you want to stop? Why would you stop? Why are you hurting yourself? Why are you hurting yourself?
Anyway. Why are you hitting yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you just hit yourself.
I don't know. I watched this episode. I felt like I watched a redemption to Father Gabriel's story.
Right,
like,
a retelling of an old favorite.
Yeah, like it was just like, okay, so they brought someone more interesting along in the religious area to like expand on what they dropped the ball on with Gabriel. I love the rabbi. I thought I love his character so far. Seems like he knows why he has to kill the dead. He does have respect for him because, especially the ones that were his parishioners, or is that parishioners, right?
That's you can say that. Congregants,
yeah. So that's the word they use. But it's just, where's like the excitement of like writing something just completely different? We've experienced this before. I did not see where it deviated at all, except for the fact that you had this guy was killing them. You know, we got to see him, you know, just protecting his land, and, you know, keep, you know, just going out there and killing them, where Gabriel was a scared little fragile guy, you know, hiding in the woods and shit and whatever. And I just, you know, it was disappointing. I was disappointed. And I'm very rarely, I haven't been disappointed in too much fear, but this episode just, I was excited because I know, you know, Dave, you were excited. This touched home for you.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I mean, it was, from that standpoint, I like what they did as far as someone in this type of world trying to keep faith, even though he admits at the end that he doesn't believe anymore. But, you know, he felt like he just needed something to hold on to.
See, I think I saw the exact opposite of Gabriel in The Rabbi. I mean,
well,
if Charlie
character-wise, yeah. I mean, he was yeah. Character-wise, completely different.
Yeah.
Just being the show in general was written like the same. He left, he came back. Like, you know, Gabriel locked his people out and hid. It's, you know, I don't know.
The fact that it mostly kind of resembled that kind of color perception of that narrative, like the fact that it was too close.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Gabriel's story is in a church. Rabbi's story is in his mosque, right? So, I mean...
temple.
Synagogue.
The synagogue, shul.
So it's like you have each character still bunkered down in their religious home, you know, like, you know, Father Gabriel lost faith, but he still, you know, stands at his altar. You know, Rabbi has lost faith, but he still does everything he's supposed to do. It's just.
Did Gabriel lose his faith in the? Because I don't think he did. I don't think he had a crisis of conscience until like I don't know, a season later or something.
I don't. I mean, I saw.
Did he ever really? He's just a pansy.
No, I think he definitely had a dip in faith.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I always saw him as a coward in the beginning, obviously, and someone who just, you know, he held his Bible and, you know, he played the person of faith, but he didn't have it. That's how I saw it.
I was thinking more like, I thought he thought that his faith would kind of see him through too. Do you know what I mean? Like I always thought that he thought that his faith was all he needed.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially when he was on the rock. He said, I asked God for help and he sent you to me. That's exactly how God works.
Right. Whereas like, you know, Rabbi Kessner is kind of all about, you know, I got to do what I got to do.
Right.
And like the faith thing to him was probably ancillary. Like he put that in the back of his mind until it came a point to where he just needed to get the F out, which is kind of like how things kind of shook out, at least when it came to his backstory. Like, look, the narratives kind of touch. They're kind of similar looking, but it's almost like a mirror darkly. I see what you mean about them resembling too much, but it couldn't be more different, right? If you think about it.
Well, like I feel like with Father Gabriel, you hated him for what he did, but then Rabbi, you felt bad for him. Okay, well, I at least felt bad for him.
No, I didn't. I felt bad for Gabriel. But I didn't hate him for what he did. Like, to be honest, I think for all these things that fear gets about helping people and blah, 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 people were really harsh with Father Gabriel. But I think Father Gabriel did what most people probably would have done. You're talking about like the classic Twilight Zone thing of, there's a Twilight Zone episode where like...
You're the last person on Earth?
No, not the last person on Earth. It involves a fallout shelter. So there's a dude on the block who sets up a fallout shelter, and all his neighbors are laughing at him and everything, and basically the government sounds off the alarms, and the guy goes into his fallout shelter, and all his neighbors kind of bang on his doors, like, let me in. They're like, dude, I'm sorry I made fun of you. I was always your friend, right? I was always your friend. But it's the classic, like, and then it was a mistake. Like, nothing really happened. And then they all had to kind of live with themselves after the way they treated each other. Like, it got like bad. Like, one of the neighbors is of Mexican descent, and then like they were saying like over, like, you don't even belong here. And then like when it's all over, he's like, yes, we're gonna just take our kids and go, you know, like go home. But it's kind of similar. Like Father Gabriel, he has his parishioners banging on the door, begging him to let him in, and he's just like not letting him in. He's like, and yet he is the shepherd to his flock, and he doesn't accept his flock, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it's the exact opposite with Rabbi Kessner. He kind of says, you guys stay here, you'll be safe here, you know, you have this place. And it wasn't even like, he admits at the end, it wasn't even the supplies that were dwindling, right? It was the fact that he was just losing his faith, but he had seen what the world was turning into and what people are starting to turn into.
Yep.
And by the end of it, one of those people locked the door. So, because that's probably one of the most glaring things things about this episode is like, who did that? You know, who took the chains and locked the actual door up?
Yeah, till he told the story, I assumed it was him.
Yeah,
and then he explained it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Right, up until that point, yeah. Otherwise, it would have been the same as Father Gabriel in a way, because he did something similar, right? Wasn't it he that like locked his zombie parishioners? I'm not even sure how he did it, but like
I think they were living, they were alive, and he locked them out of the church.
Locked them out of the church.
No, there was like an annex of some kind, though, or maybe it was the library. I can't remember. There was
Kessner, not Gabriel.
No, this is Gabriel I'm talking about. There's remember that woman that he was sort of involved with, the one with the glasses and the pearl necklace?
Yeah, they were at like at the they were at a
library.
No, it was like the underground portion, right? Like when the floor broke or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was.
It was the food like shelter. Thomas saying.
Food bank or something. Yeah,
it was like if you don't have money, you can go get food type.
Right. Yeah. Which is run by the church.
Yeah. But
exactly.
Yeah. Gabriel. I'm just saying, like, so you have the crossovers already, characters from one show into another. Why do we have to write similar storylines though too?
Exactly.
You know, like, why can't we you have characters, but I mean, let's be honest, this is a very similar storyline.
Absolutely. I feel like what they did, they saw the flukes that went on with Gabriel's episode and they tried to write it. Kind of like with the game, if the base game is bad and they try to make it better in the sequel, I feel like this was the sequel.
Yeah, that's like a redemption episode. Like, hey, look, you know. I
mean, aren't they all redemption episodes?
Well, I feel like, you know, they were like, when Father Gabriel was introduced and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Probably with the majority, no one really liked him, his character.
I didn't like him.
Still don't.
Yeah,
I mean, why that is. It's like it's the juxtaposition of like a moral authority doing immoral things.
That has nothing to do with it.
I just think he's sneaky, and I don't trust him.
Gabriel? Well,
yeah, I just don't like him.
It obviously shook differently, though. Like, if you see Father Gabriel now, he's way different. So you
don't like him.
Wait, you still don't like him now?
No,
still don't trust him.
If his character dies in the season 10 finale, or
I wanted him on a pike.
Are you serious?
I wanted him on the pike.
Yeah, I wanted him on a pike.
Why though? That makes
no. You know what? No. He deserves a special death. His character.
Does he deserve to be locked out of a church and then he can carve his name on the outside of it?
Yep.
Like, whatever.
I don't know about all that, but I did want to see him on a pike.
Somebody told me about his death in the comics, and I was kind of hoping that was going to happen.
Well, I mean,
I have a feeling that they're not going to let go of him anytime soon, because I really do think they're angling for that whole 3 men and a little lady or a little baby.
Yeah, I don't know how long that's going to last. Oh my gosh, I was getting annoyed in the trailers.
Seriously, every move they make with Gabriel, I'm like, really? Really?
I love how Rachel's camera is catching up right now because it's so funny.
Right? I was just bugging out watching. I was like, whoa, she's in fast forward.
Yeah, first she's like, really? And then it just speeds up to catch her up.
That's funny. You guys keep freezing sporadically, but I'm not.
It's your internet.
Technology hates me.
Oh man.
No, don't like Gabers.
Yeah, I don't have time to defend that statement or to like support that statement.
I'm on the Instagram chat, and Freakish Order is kind of agreeing. The entire Love Square storyline really got on my nerves, especially because none of them got piked. Felt like they were building up to it.
Right?
Yes. Thank you.
No, they needed the 3 men and a little baby situation.
No,
the 3 men and the baby situation.
You just want the reference.
Do they though? No.
Guys, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be right, and we're gonna talk about how I was right, and it's gonna be Sadiq, Gabriel, and Eugene taking care of a baby.
No, I could absolutely see it happening, but I'm just not.
I just think if they continue,
they're gonna turn into a comedy. Great.
They're clearly listening to what I like.
It is so dumb if they continue, because then that means they have truly run out of ideas and they're just grasping at straws. So no,
you've got to the point. You've got to the point where you are afraid to kill off characters.
Yeah,
like that's what you've gotten to. You don't want to lose anybody because you're losing Michelle at the end of the season. Rick's gone.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, what I mean by that situation, they're killing Rosita this season for sure.
Yeah, she'll die.
Big deal.
Unless she should have been on the pike.
Wait, unless they do something like Maggie does.
Unless
they pull a Maggie.
Well, Rosita's not going to pull a Maggie without the baby.
Right. So take the baby with her.
Yeah.
Then we're going to miss out on our 3 men and a baby.
That's fine.
Okay, in all reality, though, if Rosita leaves, it's not going to be 3 men and a baby. It's going to be Sadiq. It's Sadiq's child. Why would the other two have any involvement whatsoever?
Exactly. Just give it up.
Gabriel's the boyfriend.
Who cares?
Yeah, but if Rosita's dead, then he means nothing to the baby.
Well, hold on, Chris. Do you agree with that? Like, I mean, if Gabriel is the boyfriend, like he has involvement.
If she's alive.
Thank you. Yes.
If
she's alive.
I don't know. I mean,
this is what I really hope, and I know it's dark and
wait, hold on a second. You're saying if you and your girlfriend had a kid, Chris, like, like, see if she dies.
Whoa.
See it later.
Nope. It's not Gabe's kid.
But it doesn't matter. Like, it was Rosie. Like, spiritually, right. I mean, he was there when the kid was born.
This is like a Shane, Rick, and Lori situation. Like, really.
And Rick is so if Judith dies, Rick is like, oh, fuck you, Judith. See you later. It's like, no, sorry. If Shane dies, rather, that's not how that works. That's not how life works.
Well, I think Sadiq would have to die in order for Father Gabriel to step up.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
Either or. Gabriel's still going to step up and be the dad.
Well,
I think Eugene's going to.
A girlfriend.
Eugene's going to shove his way into that baby's life regardless. So there's no getting rid of Eugene.
It's like Uncle Eugene.
If Rosita's gone, so is Gabe.
Maybe, but I still think they missed an opportunity to do 3 Men and a Baby. Anyway, this isn't TWD. We're here to cover Fear the Walking Dead. As much as I kind of want to keep going on this narrative, because I mean, look, we all have only so much time, but I do appreciate the comments on like how similar the stories are. But like, I do think there's way more of a difference. And like, my word isn't law. Like, if you guys agree, with the idea that the storylines are a little too close, Gabriel and Rabbi Kessner, I mean, yeah, just say something about it in the comments and stuff like that. Because I do think that people were savvy to that fact too. And I was savvy to that fact too. And I think the fact that factored in actually made it more enjoyable, especially when it turned out it was not the same situation. Mm-hmm. Like
a lot of facts.
Yeah, that's how I run.
Well, I like the idea that the episode was a mirror to Gabe's story. It wasn't yes, the storylines were similar, similar situations, but every step, every move was the complete opposite of what Gabe did. And I liked that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that's what it had to do. I mean, because you knew there were going to be too many people that, that picked up on it. Yeah.
See, I even think Fear's getting to the point to where they have too many characters right now and they need to like eliminate a couple. Like,
well, don't worry, they will.
Someone's going to die in the finale. I'm calling it.
Oh,
now.
Absolutely. I mean, they have to. They haven't killed someone in a finale since Madison, so it's like,
they've got 36 people to choose from.
They killed a shit ton of people in the last season.
Let it be another Pike.
Yeah. I was going to say something before real quick, though, too, when we were talking about the 3 Men and a Baby thing. They missed out on an opportunity, not missed out, but there's a part in the comic where Lori dies leaving the prison with Judith. Her and the baby both get shot and killed in the comic.
Right.
So they want to redeem themselves.
That was brutal.
They could kill Rosita and the baby if they want to redeem themselves. But TWD won't do that because, God forbid, they'll get backlash because you shot a fucking baby. No, we didn't shoot a baby. We shot a fucking character on a TV show.
Chris just wants to kill more babies. What's the big deal?
Look,
no, I don't disagree with you, though, actually.
These annoying motherfucking kids need to die. Like, I mean, I would have wiped them the fuck out. Like, you're nothing but a bunch of fucking nuisance. Like, forget about it.
Tell us how you really feel.
We said, we got to save them. We got to save them. We got to save them. Hey, we got to save them. You know what we're going to do today? We need to save some more fucking people because we have so much fucking food. No, we don't. Live in a fucking real.
I have a simple solution to that.
You don't have all this fucking food. You don't have all these fucking resources. Kill them.
Eat the baby.
Hey, you're gonna eat your baby.
Get in my belly.
Dr. Level, are you gonna eat your baby?
How very Jonathan Swiftian of us.
Oh my.
Oh man.
While I do agree the very parallel between the two episodes, I actually really enjoyed Charlie in this episode, who at first I hated Charlie, but I think she did amazing in this episode. Yeah. She had a lot of growth and just she had this like range of emotions. And I just found myself being like, okay, well, what is she going to do? Like, is she going to really try to stay? And I like the relationship that she's really starting to have with June and John. Like, it's very, obviously, very modern family-ish.
If you can believe it, I actually enjoyed Charlie this episode as well.
she's kind of like they're becoming like their adopted child kind of thing. You know, they're treating her like, hey, you come back, we'll come get you. You're coming home kind of thing. Like, young lady.
I was waiting for them to ground her.
Authoritative parent figure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is weird. Well, yeah, which is weird because that's what they tried to be last season. That did not take
right
at all.
Right.
But then you saw her get close to Uncle Daniel also, and I think we're going to see more of that.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of seeing like this kind of spiritual authority figure, like more like moral authority figure from like Rabbi Kessner, even though he doesn't kind of want to be, like he is to her.
Well,
like,
we have to bring the rabbi with us because we need to have someone of religion in our team. Allah.
Allah.
I feel like
I don't know who you're talking about.
Gabriel.
Who's that? I thought he died.
Christ.
Charlie, I feel like she was just lost and she was trying to find something to grasp onto. And she found Father, or, what is it? Rabbi.
Papa Kessner. Thank you.
Papa Kessner. So, I mean, she found a home and she thought I feel like she was trying so hard to do a good thing. And she thought, hey, you know what? I did a really good thing. And then the shit hit the fan and she's like, oh my God, like, what did I do?
I think Charlie was really, really scared this episode too, because the last time she lived on the road like this was with the vultures, and that didn't end well. And I could see fear all over her face. She needs a stable place. Like it's not.
That's what it was starting to look like, and they even between her and Naomi Laura June, they were kind of referencing those specific behaviors that they were doing.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, I got major vulture vibes. Like when Sarah and Dwight, when they ran out of gas and the crew just rolled up, looked at them, and drove off. I was like, oh my God, this is like the vultures all over again.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in Dwight's dickhead.
Dude, it's Dwight's asshole. Dwight's asshole.
I'm very, very disappointed in Dwight's asshole.
You know what I'm disappointed at? That he actually has a name. So now I can't call him Dwight's asshole anymore.
Wait, he has a name? I missed the name.
It's Rollie. Rollie, I guess.
I like Dwight's asshole better.
I do too.
I like when she's sitting there and said that something must have happened when Salazar shaved his face pubes off.
Yeah, baby face. I have the quote.
Baby face.
He's like, that's not bad. She's like, seriously? He's like, I think Dan the man nicked your taste buds when he was trimming up your face pubes.
That was funny. So, okay, wait. Okay, here that was actually one of my questions. Okay,
yes,
so that whole situation, he said, "Oh, not bad," and she went, "Seriously? That could be taken a couple different ways. I feel like is it good or is it not good beer? Like,
I think it means good.
What? Okay, she's surprised he didn't like it more, or she's surprised he thinks it's not bad.
I think she's surprised because even she doesn't like how it tastes.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, that's not bad. He's like, are you fucking dumb? Everybody hates this beer.
Okay,
Sorry, I have to go, everybody. I was trying to do it all.
Got so somber.
I know, because I was just trying to like drop out and be like, oops, technical difficulties.
Again. Oh, we lost Chris. People are dropping like flies. Why, God? Why? Why, Rabbi Kessner?
The old Irish goodbye.
Well, let the people know you're going to see them on New York Comic Con, man.
Hey guys, I'm going to see a New York Comic Con in like a couple weeks, and the whole ATL thing too with Atlanta.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'll be back obviously for much longer appearance on over here, and we'll chit chat.
More to come.
My disappointment with Fear the Walking Dead.
And meanwhile, I think he had tons of good things to say that we just never get to. We will never.
We spend too much fucking time on Father Gabriel.
I just like bashing.
That's what he does. Takes up our time.
I've turned into a show basher.
It's like, I got a bone to pick. Bye.
But you know what? I appreciate it because it's a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, I need all perspectives. I think
nobody
all
wants to watch
perspectives
a
are
show of us all
valuable.
agreeing.
Yeah, man.
That's why I think of random theories.
You know what's worse than a show where everybody agrees?
Where the one guy leaves early.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and it's just like, it's one thing if like you all have different opinions, and that's awesome actually, but it's another when you see it like just a pile on. Like, it's just, this episode sucks. Well, let me tell you how it sucks. No, it sucks in this way. No, it sucks in this way. Pat on the back. It's like, oh, well done. We just shit all over this episode and series.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get that out of me. I had a bone to pick.
It's okay. Pick it. We're here. We're good.
Here you go.
Yeah, we will be back. We'll talk about everything, again, and we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing all our stuff, our publicity.
Yeah,
and expect a new promo this week.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And like, by the way, Chris hasn't been on in a long while, and I just wanted to give him a round of applause. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Chris.
It always actually brightens my day. Tear in the.
Yeah.
Chris says a lot of the things
really
we're
does,
all thinking.
It's true. I'm like the devil on everybody's shoulder, and they're like, "Shh, quiet, devil, quiet."
No!
Kill the
kids!
Eat the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna need Advil for this panel.
You will get high before.
Or tequila.
Yes, because weed is decriminalized in New York State, by the way. So yeah.
Is it?
No, I'm going to be drinking heavily after the panel.
Well,
I'd be taking shots beforehand.
Whatever
Not a bad
sinks your
idea.
ship.
We can drink while we're doing it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that too, right?
I don't know, actually.
Bring a
But-
koozie?
Something
There's
else.
rules.
Send them a message. You guys
All right,
be good.
Later, Chris. More details to
Later.
come, people.
Bye.
Peace. I'm gonna leave my mute.
I'm going to leave the meat.
Leave meeting now.
I know. I always say goodbye, and then you click the X and then leave the meeting. So it's like a false goodbye.
I would just let it hover and then be like, okay, goodbye, click.
Yeah, you're like that dude that says goodbye but can't seem to find the door, and then it's the other side of the room. He's like,
Yeah.
bye
Good
again.
day, sir.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
day.
Didn't you leave like 10 minutes ago? Yeah, I got lost.
Yeah, I got lost. I saw this guy
Yeah.
and he was talking to me for 30 minutes. I just couldn't leave. That's like a New York party for sure.
That's an Italian goodbye.
That's the Jewish Italian goodbye. Yeah.
I prefer my Irish exits.
Holy shit. Holy shit. You know who's on YouTube? Because she probably got frustrated with the fact that we couldn't see her Instagram comments. Miss Mazel, who is Julia Drums. I know it's Julia Drums.
Hello.
Like I didn't even have to look, it's Julia Drums. Boom.
Look at you giving shout outs.
Well, I mean, like it's been a while. It's been a while. And Miss Mazel, a woman from the tribe, I think, right? Yeah. So Rabbi Kessner. I was going to say something like about how there's a Jewish tradition, by the way, there's many. But there's a Jewish tradition where, or like a halachic like edict, basically, where when because you know how like there's obviously a rule book, right? There's all these like things that you need to follow, like it's all written down. But obviously there's different.
The Bible?
There's the Torah, there's the Talmud, there's the Mishnah, there's all these different things that you can follow as a Jew, like written down, right? But the one thing is that like every rabbi you need a rabbi basically to be able to kind of guide you through the times, because Judaism is one of those religions that evolves, so it kind of adapts to the time. Like, so if a technology comes out, we need to figure if that technology is something we can use on Sabbath, is it not? And so the idea is you don't just shop around for rabbis. You choose one and you stick with them. So I can see a lot of like non-observant Jews now choosing to follow Rabbi Kessner now, because like they found their faith again, and it's a Fear of the Walking Dead character. And the saying is "Aseh lecha Rav." That means get yourself a rabbi, basically, essentially, and then you just follow that rabbi. Whatever he says, you do. Because like
terrifying.
Well, yeah. more just to kind of like, okay, the idea is the reason, but that's why you shop around at first until you find somebody you're comfortable with, and you have a good repertoire. You like what he overwhelmingly has to say, and so you kind of stick with that interpretation, because it's so common these days to see, like we live in like the internet age where like if we don't like something, we just go somewhere else. So like we don't like this, you just shop at another venue. Well, it's kind of like, well, what happens to consistency? Like if there's a message, it's kind of like having the church that you go to no matter what, even if there are flaws or whatever like that. This is the church that you like. It's the idea is what I'm saying. Like that's the idea.
Yeah, but isn't it with church? It's like they're all essentially like kind of across the board universal.
No, sorry.
I haven't gone to church in like years.
No, they're very, very, very different.
Even like,
well, I mean, like Catholic.
No, I mean that's the thing. I think there are different like I was going to say parishes, but I don't think it goes by parishes. But like different like communities have different ideas of what they want to follow. Like even the Catholic church, by the way, these days, like that last 2 decades.
Yeah. I think there's different versions of the Catholic Church. I I was baptized Presbyterian, so I don't know much about Catholicism or that, but I currently belong to what I like to call an all-denominational church, where we just discuss good messages and how to go out and be good, basically.
Hey,
I'm more spiritual than I am.
Be good.
I'm not religious, but I have like beliefs, so that's why none of this like connects to me. Like, I understand why it connected to a lot of people. I fully get it, but me, not so much.
Not religious, more spiritual, would you say?
Yeah, like I have my beliefs on as far as like higher powers and stuff.
That's
but
good.
It's not like my entire family is so religious, and they all go to church.
Oh, they
like,
are.
Christmas Eve. I sit in the car.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But Meg, it's cold out there.
Yeah.
I know. So that's why I go shopping.
Yeah. It's good that you believe in something bigger, though. Honestly, I when I talk to people about religion and they're like, "Oh, I don't go to church. I don't do this," and at the end of the conversation, I'm like, "Well, as long as you don't believe you're the center of the universe, I think you're going to be all right."
No.
I
mean, I don't know if it works for you.
Like for like Catholics, they're like, you know what? There's one God. I believe in God. I don't believe that the entire universe was like, and all that was like created by one person. So I feel like there's like a lot more to the story than what is being told. So that's kind of where my religious beliefs are. Like, I do believe, I don't believe exactly that there's like a heaven and hell, even though I say I'm going to hell. I just feel like, there's like, how like when somebody dies, like some people believe like if they see a butterfly or something, it's like a reincarnation, like that sort of stuff I believe in, but I don't believe in the whole, like, Mary, Mother of God.
I feel like reincarnation is kind of a leap, is a way bigger leap to me than like the afterlife.
Not so much a reincarnation, but like, it's a sign from someone.
By the way,
like
Tom is saying it's a new meaning to I quit.
Well, no, like the day my friend passed away, like we loved the Pitch Perfect movies. Mm-hmm. A couple hours after I got the call, I got in my car, I was hearing Pitch Perfect songs.
Aww.
So I'm like, so I was like, okay, that's a sign. But I'm not saying, when I watch Pitch Perfect, she's Anna Kendrick is the reincarnation of my friend, but
well, no, right.
But you kind of get what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So you do believe in like some like cosmic, almost like cosmic humor in a way, like
slightly, yeah.
Things kind of connect.
Slightly. Just not in the way you and Joe Schmo would believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really talk about like whether I do or don't have faith, because I mostly don't. But I do. I see the thing that I most value, actually. This is the highest order of my belief, is that I respect the beliefs of others, and it's not even like, I still think their stuff is hocus pocus, but I think the most important thing. No, hold on a second. But I think the most important thing is in life is deriving meaning from somewhere. I think the biggest thing that is lost when we have conversations with each other about not just faith, but like cosplay, like things that you love. I mean, if you derive some sort of meaning from it, even if it's bad shit crazy, like astrology is where I draw the line, because that is some bullshit. Other than that, I'm sorry, and I will say that, I'm calling it out loud, but if you do, because there's a difference between this letter of the law kind of shit, like where you don't derive meaning, but you kind of give up a part of yourself to kind of say, this is how the world works, and that there's nothing I can do to change it, and then like something that adds to your life so that you can give back to it. I don't see astrology being the latter of those two things. Do you know what I mean? Like astrology doesn't strike me as something that adds to your life so that you can give back to the universe. No, astrology just kind of tells you this is what it is. There's nothing you can do to change it. This is who you are. There's nothing you can do to change it. This is who your boyfriend is, or your prospective boyfriend is. There's nothing you can do to change.
But with astrology, everybody can choose like as I'm a Leo, so it says like we're confident and all that. Like, yeah, I believe I have that confidence factor, but I'm sure there's other traits that come along with being a Leo that I don't agree with. But I feel like it's all within, like whatever your guys' signs are. You may say, hey, you know what? It says I'm cautious, for example. You may say, okay, yeah, I'm cautious, but then another sign you may be like, no, that's definitely not me. So I feel like there's certain factors that you feel like you fit in with, but
all the meaning that you're deriving, you're doing it on your own. All the assignment of meaning is individualized. So you are the one who's giving meaning to those words. The more stress that you assign to astrology, though, I think the less individuality you kind of impart on it. So that's the thing, like, I think the meaning comes from within rather than from without. Like, I think I see like faith-based beliefs and religions. I feel like it's a two-way street. You invest in learning about it and observing it and acting on it and it kind of gives back. I just don't see that exchange happening with astrology. And I'm admitting I'm being judgmental, and I never said I was never a judgmental person too, by the way. Like I know I come off as kind of a nice guy, and I think those things are true, but I judge. I do judge. I'm a human in the world. We all judge. We're supposed to judge.
Come at me about astrology.
I will.
No,
and
you have.
I brung it. I
said something about that it was Leo season, and he just went off on me. Not went off.
Was this a while ago?
Yeah, this was like right when Leo season started. I posted something on either my personal Twitter or my personal Instagram, I forget, but he just came at me, and I was like,
did I really?
Yeah, and I was like,
was I drunk?
I don't know. But I was like, shut the fuck up.
This bullshit.
It was a few sentences, like almost a full paragraph, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Oh, Maggie, can't you see? You're enough for me. That's the way it is. And I think that's what I love about you. That's why I didn't ask you here because you're Leo. I asked you because you're Meg the fucking geek and you know how to talk and you have opinions. No. You don't resign. I fire you. No, that's the thing. That doesn't matter to me.
I think it's really strange how accurate astrology can be. Like, even if
I agree.
I'm not into astrology. I don't know much about it, but it does kind of make you question, like,
sometimes it hits the nail on the head.
It's quite, yeah. I mean, it has been quite accurate. And so then you kind of have to go,
That's what I was trying to say before.
That's where I'm at with astrology. I go,
I feel like that should be an emoji, forever confused. Just have Rachel,
I think there is one too.
I think there is too. I use it a lot.
Like this.
I use that one a lot. Yeah. It's my emoji.
I feel like I use the instead of sometimes the eye roll emoji.
Yeah.
What you're saying right now is very interesting, but like I really like the eye roll emoji.
So when we see this from Dave, we know really he's rolling his eyes.
What the fuck is this?
The downside to being in a group chat with 5 other people.
Preach, girl. Which hence the need for Slack. But anyway.
Anyway, guys, I really hope you're enjoying this episode of Squawking Dead.
Right, where we talk about everything but Fear the Walking Dead.
We talk about everything
and while
bullshit.
You're here, you might as well go to the merch store where the shipping is ridiculous.
That's right.
Oh yeah, and guess what?
You needed a plug.
And guess what? Have you seen this shirt?
Wait, is that a 5B?
That's the 5B design on the. So this is the tri-blend.
Cool.
This is the tri-blend design of season 5B. I have to look at.
Now I understand what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So there's supposed to be a little bit more like red here, but I think if you get the regular shirt, this will kind of come out a little bit.
He just wants to rub his chest. You know, it's like here.
You need to see the words. This is like a brown shirt with kind of dark lettering. And
it looks gray.
It is kind of.
It does look gray.
Well, because of the light. The light's kind of the overhead lights kind of all down on me. But yeah, it's that's the thing about the tri-blend. It's kind of like it's got kind of like a heathered look almost. So like a heathered brown.
The next sale, I'm gonna pick up a new shirt.
Yeah, which is coming up soon actually. The next sale should be at the end of September, like around 18th, 20th, something like that.
As long as it's here before I leave for Atlanta, that's all I care about.
Yeah, a month before actually. So.
And bring my sticker.
I'll bring your sticker. I'm actually, I'll put it in my headphone bag.
Yes.
Sticker.
You can bring it to New York. I mean, I'm not going to complain.
And you can buy these. These are like $2, by the way. Not you.
No, they're $2.50, and then when they're on sale, they're $2.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I bought them at. So
see, I'm doing my stickers differently.
Yeah.
I'm buying a roll.
Well, see, they look like episodes. So like you could just, I'll sign them. I'll put like the episode of your choice on this sticker from that season. So.
I'll put my first episode on it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
There you go.
503.
I feel like I want to do that. I want to print out like just specific episode stickers. But yeah, if you do want to head to the merch store, just go to squawkingdead.com, hit the main menu and hit merch and just, shop till you drop. Cause the shipping
Wait for the sale.
Cause the shipping is
ridiculous. Ooh, that was loud.
Yeah, you surprised yourself. But hey, it worked out. Nobody died.
So I was pretty excited to see something happen in this episode that I was taught in elementary school. We took a field trip to the Hartley Nature Center, and we had to, a group of 4 or 5 of us kids, had to make our way across these logs using only 2 wooden boards.
Oh, that was such a cool thing they did. Oh my god.
And as soon as I saw this scene with June and John, I thought, they were preparing us for the apocalypse. And I, as soon as they started doing that, I looked at my husband and I went, I know how to do that. Because they taught us. It was pretty funny, yeah.
So if the apocalypse says we're going to Rachel's house.
That's exactly. So I thought that was very ingenious. That was a good idea for getting across until it wasn't, but it worked for the most part.
Well, let's talk about that because there's a little bit of like biblical reference in that scene, by the way.
Jacob's ladder.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Does anybody know what that symbolized, by the way?
Surviving.
So Jacob,
besides the obvious. Yeah.
Well, kind of actually, because Jacob has this dream. He sees like angels going up a ladder and down a ladder, right? And this is during the time where Aesop, his brother, or Esau, depending on how you pronounce it, but his brother was coming after him because he wanted his father's blessing because they were both twins. And Jacob kind of stole it from underneath him, and they'd been going after each other all their lives, and like so, it symbolizes the connection of the chosen people to God. And so, and why that matters is because in like earlier scenes, and I'll go into that why it matters, but like Rabbi Kessner goes into the
36 people.
Yeah, the 36.
Okay.
What he says is Nitzarim, but he pronounced it wrong.
Oh no, that's so disappointing.
It's the 36 Nistarim. It's a different word completely, which is weird because Nistar means to hide, like hidden.
Maybe it's just his accent that made it come off weird.
Nah, he fucked up.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's a completely different letter, but it's okay. That happens in Hollywood all the time.
But you have to think about it. The rest of it was great. So
no. It doesn't bother me at all. That's the thing about like when I watch the show, and I'm not looking for perfection, but I do derive meaning from like this. The idea of the 36 Nistarim is so powerful. By the way, this is when you start getting to like Jewish mysticism, which not even like many Jews go into. Like a percent, like a single digit percent of that religious contingent go into it. Otherwise, you're really just following traditions like your father did and your father before that. And not many people go into the actual mysticism of it. But this is a very deeply mystical concept that he brings up. But yeah, I like the connection that of the ladder, which like of all things, using a ladder to kind of go from car to car too is kind of a weird thing to try out and to have it kind of work almost. Well, actually, it did kind of work, didn't it?
Well, yeah, the ladder, the last car. The fence broke, not the ladder. So yeah, the ladder was good.
One trip shy short of heaven.
Right.
And then when they were on top of the car, it gave me throwbacks to season 4 when Morgan was on top of the car, like when we first met Sarah.
That's right. That was awesome. Was it Sarah?
It was Sarah.
It was Sarah. Yeah, Sarah, and then Jim was there too.
Back when we thought Sarah was going to be evil.
Yeah, we thought they were bad guys.
Yep.
Sorry.
And like people would say like season 4 sucks, and like I remember that scene. I was like, damn, that's pretty good actually. When you don't know where a person stands.
I think 4B sucked.
I think a lot of people said that too, but they were in 4B. That was their season. That was their part of the season.
The only characters I liked in 4B were Alicia. However, one of my favorite episodes from season 4 was in 4B, the hurricane.
Oh, you're talking about Close Your Eyes.
Oh wait, or was that in the beginning of season 4? I don't remember.
No, Close Your Eyes.
I think it was in the back half.
It was in the back half.
It was?
Yeah.
Because it deals with...
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it deals with... Because Alicia runs away from Morgan.
Yeah.
That's right. It was after Madison. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was probably my favorite episode of...
She couldn't help
4B.
the dude. There's a whole thing.
But, like, Sarah was probably the best part of 4B, minus Alicia, just because of her one-liners.
You didn't enjoy Jim's, not rise, but fall, I guess?
It was... I appreciated it. It was sad, but I appreciated it.
Oh, yeah. And Tom was saying how, like, when Morgan or when John and June were on the car, it reminded him of the scene with Glenn and Nicholas on the dumpster.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back with Chris's theory a little bit with the parallels.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, this I don't know if it's just this season, but there are, like, so many parallels to different episodes, different characters. Like, so what makes Rabbi Kessner, like, any different? I'm calling him Rabbi Kessner for some reason, but, like, everybody's calling him Rabbi Jacob. I don't know. It's just something that kind of hits in my head.
When I was in the Instagram feed before, somebody commented on this. I don't know who. I'm not in the Instagram feed, so I can't say. I don't know who it was. But they said that they enjoyed the parallels between Fear and Walking Dead, which I disagree with, respectfully, of course.
Right.
Because I feel like it's technically a prequel of The Walking Dead, so I feel like it should be having their own ideas.
I mean, there are things in this world that are going to just they're going to be the same. Yeah.
No, I agree with. I agree with that.
I think it's a very real life feel, and I think I like that we're seeing parallels, but
to an extent, I feel like they should be,
but different. You know, we're seeing a lot of the same things, but they're happening differently, and maybe they have different outcomes. And I feel like that's very real. I think I would expect to see that in,
but maybe don't have the episode center around it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Maybe have it be like the B or C storyline, but this took precedence with A, and I was like, all right.
See, are you talking about the Gabe and Kessner parallel? Because I think they really drilled on that on purpose, though, and you know, like I said earlier, I really like that at every moment that we see that parallel between Kessner and Gabe. You know, Kessner has a complete opposite reaction to it. He is the opposite of what Gabe did, and I think they were really trying to drive that home too, especially letting us think that he locked the doors on the congregation.
I thought that was very clever.
And then come to find out he didn't, and we're like, oh, he's not Gabe at all.
I get that. Now, Rachel, earlier we were saying, I don't know if this was in the episode or if we were talking beforehand, how we were saying that we did not like Father Gabriel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this episode, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was before the episode or during.
I was paying very close attention because I was the only one defending Gabriel.
You were.
Rabbi, do you like him?
I do.
I do too.
So far, I do. Yeah.
But it doesn't make you anti-Semitic if you don't.
No, like so, like with Father
I'm just
Gabriel,
saying what we know of him so far. I do.
Father Gabriel's very bland, while the Rabbi has layers to him and like dimensions where he's actually offering up information and not and willing to kill the walkers and everything.
Yeah.
Father Gabriel would rather sit and cry in the corner like a little bitch.
Come help me!
Exactly.
Yeah, Kessner seems very self-sufficient. He will be an asset. He will be an asset, not someone we need to look after.
He's a go-getter.
Like it's so weird. I don't usually make comments about like oh, this guy is this way because of that religion, or this guy is that way because of that religion. But like I feel like okay, I feel like in terms of Christianity in general, there is a sense of moral austerity, like the cutting off of oneself to society, right? Well, I mean, in terms of morality, like there is not a chasm, but there is a sense of separation from there's a sense of separation and rejoining with the group or the village or the town to kind of set a difference between the men of moral authority and the common people who could also be of moral fabric, but then they look to him for the answers because he went away and studied and came back. Like there is an element of that in Judaism, but when it comes to Judaism, there's only like a thin membrane of separation from the everyman to like a rabbi. Rabbi just turns into a teacher. That's kind of like how, because rabbi technically is teacher. It's just a kind of one step up from like a person who just goes to classes and learns things, right? Okay. So they're always embedded in like a group. They're always embedded in a group of people learning. So the only difference between a rabbi and a normal person learning studies, like Jewish studies, is the rabbi kind of took a few tests and decided he wanted to teach those studies because he learned how to teach. That's all it is. You know, he learned the basics of how to teach and like how to learn for himself so that he can teach more people too.
That's a good quality to have in an apocalypse.
Yeah, and so you transfer those kind of traits into the apocalypse, and then in general, like the cultures are kind of like that. There is a sense of moral austerity in Christianity, and then there's a sense of togetherness and tradition and inclusion, and the more the merrier. I feel like that's always kind of like a Jewish concept to me, because like it's all about, you know, like the best the parties that are most noteworthy are like the ones where everyone's invited, like the weddings. It's like, you know, my big fat Greek wedding. It's kind of like that. Like everybody and their mother's invited, that kind of thing. There's like a sense of that. Whereas if you go to this other wedding, it's like, oh, I invited this. Like, I mean, I'm playing to the extremes, but like, oh, I invited this movie star and that movie star, and then like, how many friends did you invite? I invited 5 of my friends. I don't believe in best men or maids of honor. Hey, P. Diddy.
You mentioned something about Judaism earlier. What do you guys think of Sarah?
That was a pretty good reveal.
Right? Surprise. That was cool.
Yeah.
I felt like I always thought she was kind of Jewish in a weird way. And I know that sounds really weird, especially when in real life, I don't know that she is.
And I think she's like full on Irish.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Her name's Collins.
I'm pretty sure she's Irish.
Yeah. I love, and
she plays for my team. Sorry.
I was going to say, because she has that like
I'm actually
Missourian
mostly
accent.
Irish, so
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm mostly French, but I still say Irish.
No, you look very Irish.
Yeah, so I go with it. Only 36%.
It works for you, though.
Only? That's a third of you. It's more than a third of you.
You know that? It's a third of you.
But I'm 50% French.
What's the rest of you? We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that.
I am 15% white.
I'm 100% white. What are you talking about? Like, hello.
No, like I'm talking like lily white.
Yeah.
Translucent.
Like the color of my charger white.
Right.
No, I do own a tanner. I can't be that white. It's not allowed.
I mean, it's a talent.
Wait, we got to cover this candy thing.
Okay, so the candy thing. So you would ask a question.
The candy thing.
I figured I'd let you set that up. Or I think it was Meg. Was it Meg or you that asked that question?
Rachel.
That was me.
Rachel.
So Dory hands Kessner a little, the little candies that he's got, right? Here, feel good. And he checks the back for something. He's looking at the ingredients. What is he looking for?
Rabbi Kessner is looking for kosher certification.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's
it was.
a thing?
That's a thing. So
it says it right on the wrapper?
Yeah, so
Bring me candy.
There are certain kosher authorities. I
have a wrapper right here.
As a technician, I actually work for
nothing on here.
A kashrut organization. And so there are many of them. And the reason for that is that just like I was saying, how you choose a person from whom you wish to learn and ask questions to, like a rabbi, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with the kosher certifications. There are a handful of kosher certifications that some Jews will trust implicitly, and so they go with that one. So when you're looking at the back, sometimes that one thin K ain't good enough. That one is not kosher. Yeah. I don't have any candy.
It also just says Werther's.
Where am I going to find this
at? They say it on the main bag.
I think they made Werther's all Werther's kosher, but if you look at the big bag, it might say it. By the way,
I will get back to you on that.
Get back to me on that.
It's in the kitchen.
I'm checking this one out.
Sour Patches, I think, are kosher.
Wait, is Arizona kosher?
Arizona's a kosher, I think. Yeah.
How about Mountain Dew?
Sometimes you have to look real hard. Mountain Dew.
Wait, where would it say it's
maybe
kosher?
Not. It'll have like a Circle K. That's the most popular one. Circle K or just a K.
Wait, literally a K in a circle?
K in a circle, and that's the OK symbol. That's the.
I have seen that.
I see a U with a circle.
This one has a copyright.
The U with the kosher, that's the OU. That's the Orthodox Union.
No, it's just it's a U with a circle on it next to where it says 1 liter.
That's one of the most popular kosher symbols.
That's so cool.
The OU.
I'm Googling this right now.
Yep. Well, no, I'm telling you what it is. OU.org.
I know. I just want to see other ones.
Look at us. Look at us getting smarter.
There's also Kuf K. That's the Kaf symbol with the K in the middle.
Symbol list.
Yep. There's the star K. There's like a 5-pointed star with a K in the middle. There's a bunch.
I've seen a lot of those symbols you're talking about. I had no idea what they meant.
There's a whole bunch of Jews in Michigan too.
That's wild. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So the rabbi was basically looking to see if the candy was kosher before he started eating it, and it happened to be.
Yeah, I thought it was we assumed it was a specific ingredient, but I couldn't think of anything that
I knew it was kosher.
I didn't realize things like that were labeled on packaging. Otherwise, I would have thought that.
Yeah, there's some things that you just can't like put kashrut on, like bacon wrapped dates in a bag. Like you just, there's no way. But see, it's not only the food itself that makes something kosher, right? It's also like safeguarding the equipment from mixing certain non-kosher items with what would classically be kosher otherwise, right? It's kind of like having a facility of nuts. It's really similar to that. So like
Arizona is not kosher.
Oh, according to recent news, unless it's marked, by the way. Yeah, but some Arizonas are kosher. Anyway, so what I was going to say,
I'm just going to check everything.
Don't worry about the kosher symbols.
Now.
Yeah,
I want to learn.
Well, Lonnie was asking, does that mean Wendell is Jewish too? And I actually had this conversation with Jess. I think you were there, Meg, right? Or I said like, if Wendell's last name is Rabinowitz, I'll shit a brick. I actually use those words, and I just thought it was funny because it made me think of like Sammy Davis Jr. and like how cool that would be. Actually,
that would be cool.
I would like absolutely shit a brick. And Jess asked, so am I going to hold you to that if that's true? And I'll be like, yes, please hold me to that.
Maybe not with us around.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not live on air.
Yeah.
But I also got another question from Lonnie. It was like, do you eat kosher year round or only at certain times of the calendar? A normal Jewish person will keep kosher year round all the time, every time, which is interesting because there are certain concepts in Judaism where there's one specific context in Judaism, which is called pikuach nefesh. Pikuach nefesh is something where if your life is in danger or if you are threatened, you can break certain laws to save your own life or the life of somebody else. The life of yourself is actually more important, but also the life of somebody else. So like the classic examples in the Talmud are the times in which you're allowed to break the Sabbath to take somebody to the hospital, let's say. It's so important. This is something I learned in yeshiva, by the way. It's so important to break that law, by the way, and here's the crazy example, because Talmud is full of crazy examples. Let's say you had to suddenly take somebody in your wagon, right? And you have horses in front of that wagon and you're taking that person to a doctor, like rushing, because you're not allowed to use a wagon and the horses. You not to work the horses on Sabbath. But let's say the wagon wheels plow the field. Are you allowed to benefit from the plowing of that field that the wheels made? And the truth is you are allowed to benefit from that action. It's so important to save that life. Because some people would say, and this is all the crazy back and forth that's in the Talmud, because it's full of crazy singular questions where you have to kind of get in the nitty gritty from all angles to make sure that what you're doing is right. So the reason why that question is asked is because a person who would be afraid to take their friend to the hospital because they think that they may not be able to, okay, I'm going to get benefit from taking my friend to the hospital because I made a furrow to plant seeds. They don't want anybody to hesitate in taking that person to the hospital. They don't want a doubt in their mind. Take them to the hospital. You may even benefit from that action. Let's say you hit the lottery ticket. You picked up a lottery ticket on the way to take your friend to the hospital. You can cash in that ticket. Things like that.
Just get the tourniquet. I need to stop for a lotto.
Right.
This is how sophisticated, and crazy in some maddening senses that people have to think about when they think about what is my intention with this law? What am I doing here?
Makes sense why you would really need a trustworthy rabbi involved, because it seems like they would help you through that.
Yeah, I mean, in Judaism, a lot of it is actually, I think this is okay. I read that this is okay according to the words. Now let me ask my rabbi. That's how it kind of goes usually. What does my rabbi say about that? So you ask your authority, say sometimes you're not really sure if it's a thing that you should do, and so you just kind of you err on the side of caution, which is why I see it. I think that's a huge gap. I think between I think Judaism and Christianity as well is that I feel there's a lot. The rabbi gets asked a lot of boring everyday questions every single day, whereas I can see it being at least these days I see it being a lot sort of I feel like a normal parishioner at a church would be I'm having this big problem and I kind of need your spiritual guidance. Meanwhile, every single day the rabbi is saying, is this kosher? Is this kosher? Is this kosher? Is this kosher? But what if I eat it with this?
That would be exhausting.
That's every Jew that is observant in that way.
So now you won't eat anything that's not kosher.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not an observant Jew.
So if I give you a bacon cheeseburger.
I had a cold, this is how awful I am. I'm an awful person because I didn't even heat up this hamburger that I had.
That's not even American.
A couple nights ago. But it's a bacon cheeseburger that from a different barbecue 2 nights ago, and I didn't even heat it up. I just ate it.
That just breaks.
So not only am I a bad person,
you're a horrible person.
I'm a bad Jew.
Bad person and bad Jew. Oh my god! I actually
feel bad for the burger.
Right. Even the burger's no, don't eat me. You need to warm me up.
The burger is up here and you're down here. But my friend Matt cooked that burger, so I think you're onto something. He's awesome.
Take pity on that burger.
Well, if you can eat a cold burger and it was still delicious, that says something about his cooking. So well done, man.
Yeah. Everybody's commenting about Dwight's lack of facial hair. He does kind of look a little younger post.
Looking hotter.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Do you think Sarah's got a little?
Side of his face.
Do you think Sarah's got a little thing for him? Thing? Yeah, you think so?
Well, if she's not a lesbian, then yeah, she's got a thing for him.
Do you think that's a wow? I didn't even think about that. What do you think about that, Rachel?
Totally possible. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't
feel
know
like in the apocalypse, sexuality goes out the window.
I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how any of them are thinking about sex ever when they're constantly almost being killed. So, like, that wouldn't even be on my mind at all.
Ask Lori Grimes. Oh, wait, you can't.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's my point.
Wait, oh my God, that's like Mean Girls. You have sex, it gets you killed.
Yes. If you have sex, you will die.
And there you go.
Yep, exactly.
Another big difference between Christianity and Judaism.
There you go.
Sex, wait till you're married, but you're okay after that. Chugga, chugga, chew, chew.
Chugga, chugga, woo, woo.
Anyway, yeah. But that is really, I haven't really thought of it that way.
No,
like a lot of what you said just now about like sex, how does sex even enter in the equation when there's this shit going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of what we talk about sometimes when we're talking about not only Rick and Michonne, but we're talking about like the idea of Daryl and Carol.
Well, like in Walking Dead, I feel like in Walking Dead, they emphasize a little too much on relationships, where in Fear the Walking Dead, they get just enough by to make you be like, okay, it's happening. Like John and June, for example. Like, you know they're together, but it's not shoved down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're having sex?
That's none of my business.
No, it isn't, but like I was just asking. Like, because I'm almost think they're not. Like, well, it's not
again,
really,
like I don't
really happening.
No, I think June's thinking a lot like I am. You know, like that. We don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. You know, what if somebody comes rolling up right now? I mean, we have to be on guard at all times. We're gonna die any minute.
When they get their new settlement, it's going down.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? The whole place will probably rumble the first night because everybody's getting their rocks off.
They're like, what was it, Old Faithful?
Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh, that place will stink for a week after they move in.
Yeah, it smells like Clorox in here. What's going on?
What is that?
I think we just found our comment of the week. Our clip of the week.
It smells like Clorox in here. It's going on.
I mean, it is necessary if they think there's a future. Obviously, it's necessary. And I do wish Chris was here for this part of it because he wants to kill all the kids. But in all honesty, we need kids because they're going to eventually grow up and fight and continue what we have started. So kids are kind of important. I mean, kill the stupid ones, but I mean, the smart ones that can fight, like Judith, I mean, she's obviously going to make it. So.
They can kill what's-his-face, the brother of the one that was in regular Walking Dead.
You mean Sam Anderson?
Dylan?
Yeah, because he's like nothing.
Kill Dylan!
Oh my God.
That's so...
Wow, man.
Kill Annie.
No. Annie.
I love how
fight,
like Rachel's my safe harbor on this one.
Dylan, like he contributes nothing. He's like Sam.
You'll contribute nothing.
It's a Dodson thing. What can I say?
Off to the gas chambers with you, Dylan.
Could be an age thing too. I don't know. I don't know how old he is.
Look at Judith. Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
Look at Judith's mom.
Judith is the exception. Look
at Judith's mom. No,
I can't. She's dead.
Lori's not Judith's mom. Fuck Lori. It's Michonne. Michonne is Judith's mom.
I'm about to have an aneurysm.
Poor Dylan. He's got Annie to teach him how to. I
mean, like, look at
survive.
RJ. Look at
RJ's gonna get bit. I don't care.
Seriously, I mean, really though. I mean, we haven't seen him training with anyone, right?
Chris?
Look at all these defenseless babies. They're so useless.
I'm pretty sure RJ's gonna bite it eventually.
Why aren't they in my belly? Where they belong.
I have a very important statement to say.
Kids would probably be pretty tender.
These kids.
Baby bike.
Baby bike. We're not doing this.
I bet children would be pretty tender though.
Oh boy.
That'd be good meat. That'd be good meat.
It'd be a little gamey one day.
Where's Chris right now?
To be honest.
I need Chris.
Especially Dylan. He's got those big chubby cheeks. I'd cut in right there.
Baby,
boy.
Baby.
Everybody. So you're a little hungry, I assume.
Yeah, a little bit.
Can you imagine like on like little skewers? You wouldn't even have to take the heads off. That's like
kid kebabs.
Oh my God.
This turned dark really fast.
Well, I can tell you won't be on a pike. Judith.
Yeah.
What if? Right?
Okay, now you're just fucked up.
I'm fucked up?
Honestly, at this point, they can kill everybody but Carol, and I'd be fine.
Wow.
Well, they can kill everybody but Carol and Judith, and I'd be okay. Just keep Carol. Just keep Carol.
Yeah, I really only need Carol at this point.
Morgan's clear mode times 100.
No, I'm actually okay if Ezekiel bites the bullet or gets bit by the walker.
Keep going.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be on
Gabriel,
a pike too.
There's Eugene.
He was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be. So was Rosita, though, for that matter.
Right.
So.
No, but if I feel like Ezekiel needs to go.
I don't want him to go.
Wait,
I don't want him to go.
Why does he why do he have to go?
I feel like he's kind of holding Carol down now.
Well, not anymore. She left his ass.
That's true.
And he's
She's
moved
like,
on
screw
as
you.
well.
He's going to be like,
right?
I need you. She's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You think so?
Like,
I don't
fine.
think that's happening. I don't think it's happening.
another chick.
Well, then when he realizes it won't happen, that's when he goes, bounce chicka wow wow with Michonne.
That's just going to be weird. I still don't know how I feel about that.
I feel good things about that. I feel like everybody is so uncomfortable, and it makes me.
I was
so
very
happy.
uncomfortable with it.
Well, Michonne and Ezekiel are together in the comics, and I'm still like, not feeling it.
I'm not a big fan of Ezekiel, so I think that's why I'm kind of with it.
Well, that would explain it.
That's partially.
I'm not a big fan of him, so he could just go.
Well, I used to like him, but then I don't.
Well, I just don't know how it's going to work, right? Because Michonne is at Alexandria, right?
They're in Alexandria now,
right?
With Carol and Daryl, she left Zeke to go to Alexandria. Yes.
Wait, they left it to go to Hilltop.
Carol and Daryl are at Hilltop.
Well, no, I'm saying at
Alexandria.
The kingdom. You're saying the kingdom went to Hilltop.
They left the kingdom to go to Hilltop.
Can you remember what they called it?
But when Carol broke up with Ezekiel, she went to Alexandria, correct? Or am I wrong? She broke up with Ezekiel. I'm done with you. Her and Daryl go and have a snowball fight at Alexandria.
Because Ezekiel had to be at Hilltop because they called it Kingtop.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why Carol went to Alexandria.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and they split up.
I don't know how this whole relationship between Michonne and Ezekiel is going to go down in Alexandria with Carol there watching.
I just like that everybody's uncomfortable. I like that everybody's uncomfortable. That's the best place to be. I'm uncomfortable about like the possibility of Maggie even coming back.
Yeah.
And,
I'm okay with that.
And I still like that.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
okay with that.
I like that too.
I'm very uncomfortable because all of this change, you know what I mean?
But that's good.
From Jesus all the way to
Lauren Cohen is so good at expressing her emotions that when she comes back and she sees everything that has happened, she's gonna lose it. And I am
how uncomfortable are you gonna feel? My
heart's gonna break.
I want comic book Maggie so bad. I want comic book Maggie.
Explain that.
If we get comic Maggie, we're good. We're good.
Explain that a little bit, like the kind of person she is.
In my opinion, I feel like Screen Maggie is a little bit more emotional in decisions, and I feel like comic book Maggie is more diplomatic and is like, okay, what do we need to do? Here's what we're gonna do. She's just more, and Screen Maggie is more, just more emotional.
Now,
like,
let me ask you.
We saw a little bit of that, though. We saw a little bit of that before the time jump.
Yeah, when she offed
Gregory.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let
that
me
is the Maggie I want to see.
If they merge comic Maggie and Screen Maggie, would you be okay with it?
They kind of did have them there already, I think.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, that scene with Gregory, I want that Maggie.
Season 9 had such promise for Maggie, and then she left.
I was just starting to like her, even. Like
I just got mad that she didn't get.
I wasn't a Maggie fan. Yeah, I wasn't really a Maggie fan, and then season 9 came, and I'm like, okay, all right, and then she leaves, and I'm like, I just started to like you.
Yeah.
Because you liked how shrewd she was being. She was like being very.
Yeah, she was being
like a poker player almost. Like
good
I've
leader.
got the nuts.
Yep.
I was getting annoyed with her, like probably like late season 6, early season 7, like around the whole time of Glenn's death. Because I'm so used to like Maggie like being the go-getter doing this, and that she's just like nothing.
She just had to disappoint you like that by being human.
Yeah. How dare you be a human?
Well.
It's tough, man. I think that's what I think a lot of people don't like about Fear the Walking Dead, though, too, is that a lot of these people are showing their human side, and they're like, I need this because if I don't have this, then, I just go back to my evil ways. And I think a lot of people want certain people to go back to their evil ways. I see comments about people wanting Morgan to go ham all over again. And I'm like, like, who wants to see that?
Can Morgan just leave, though?
I get it. Like, well, I get it, though. I get it. But, like, at the same time, because you want to see something crazy. Part of of me wants to see something crazy, but the other part of me is kind of like, we've seen this shit before. That's I think most people. I think.
I feel like we're gonna get some sort of crazy in the finale. We have to.
I don't think so.
I hope it comes before that.
I don't think.
I hope it comes before that too, but I just hope we don't have another situation like in 9, where 9:15 was so powerful, and 9:16 was like.
So now that Logan has found these oil fields, do you think the big thing is going to be like? I feel like someone's going to blow it all up.
It's the nuclear thing all over again.
The reactor?
It's the reactor, because hear me out. Because in 5A, we had a time frame. Like, okay, we have to get out before the reactor blows, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So everything gets fucked up because of it. Now in 5B, kind of piggybacking on what Rachel said about how the oil fields might blow up and nobody gets it, everything's screwed again.
I don't think they'll blow up. I mean, they could flare, but that doesn't mean anything. But
it ruins the oil for the gas, which means then they're really out of luck. And there's no horses.
There's a town in Pennsylvania that's been on fire for
like 30-something years.
Right. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yep. I forgot the town's name.
It's the underground mines.
Right. So it's a similar concept. Like if they did something like that, it could be one of those situations where it will always be on fire.
But then nobody gets the oil, so then that goes right back. Nobody gets it.
Stalemate, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then once again, everything is screwed. And
but who's more screwed though?
Our group.
Why? Do they need the gas necessarily?
Well, Sarah ran out.
Only reason why I think they really needed that was I think because of Logan.
No, I'd say because they're trying to help people.
Well, there's that too, but I think maybe not having the gas equalizes everybody's situation though. Do you know what I mean?
If they don't have gas, they have to get a settlement and they have to start realizing we can't help everyone and start helping themselves.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like more like, well, you come here and then we'll help you. Like they still have walkie-talkies. They don't need gas for that.
We still don't know why Logan wants all the oil, all the fuel either.
Oh, I think we know why Logan wants the gas.
We think we know.
Oh, we do know.
Those are theories. We still don't know for sure why Logan wants the oil.
And I want to know.
That's true.
What tape? Because remember in the last episode, they were saying watch the tape. Somebody had a squeal. So I want to know what tape revealed where the oil fields were.
The unedited footage. That is easy. That's easy. All the different tapes, they're all the unedited footage, the raw footage.
No, I know that, but I want to know what tape said it.
So it's the one where Sarah's almost at Tanktown, and she says, you can cut this off right here. I'm sure they kept rolling, but I think just for an edit, she was like, just make sure to edit it here. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I work in video. I know how that works.
But that's the easy question to answer. The harder question to answer is, how did he know where to look for those? I still don't know how he knew to look for those tapes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Did they happen to see Clark's tape? You know what I mean?
I don't think so, because it was in with everybody else's tape. I thought.
Oh, wait a minute. That could be it. No, that can't be it. That's like the chicken and the egg situation. The tape had to be in the vault for him to see it. But so how did he know where the vault was? This is something we asked last week.
I don't know.
Who are we sure who all knew about the bank vault? I mean, it kind of seemed like only Al knew about it because she interviewed that guy. Like, it didn't even really seem like Morgan even knew that it was there, that she was doing this. And he was part of the group. So who else could have known about it?
Couldn't be Wes, because he wasn't in that area.
Not at that time, no.
No.
And the answer, Logan answered the girl, somebody asked him, how did you know about this? And he said, like I said, this is bigger than you or bigger than us. So that it sounds like someone told him. Someone said, go here, get these things.
I mean, I don't want to jump to say it's like Isabel or something like that, because that's fucking
I thought that's a little too out there.
I think so too, because I don't think Al found that place until after the Isabel situation.
The only thing that makes sense is that they have tech that somebody in this new world order has, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can somehow, I don't know, find out somebody's deepest, darkest thoughts.
Speaking of this tech, how are they keeping like the batteries running on these walkies?
So first of all, they do have chargers hooked up to the actual cars, the trucks, but they also have like, I remember like in season 9, they also talked about solar walkies.
Oh,
some of them have solar. I don't think these are they, but I do think they have chargers in the trucks and the semis.
Like in season 9, that's what I really liked, especially in the beginning, how they're really going back to like the whole like Old West with with the horsebacks and everything.
Right.
You know, and they kind of kept that theme throughout the majority of the season. And like with Fear, I feel like they're finally starting to get to that point where they're like, okay, you know what, stuff's running out. But the whole walkie thing.
Yeah, but season 9's walkies were solar powered.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know about the Fear season. And then again, Fear is behind. So
yeah, there might still be usable like actual batteries around too.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Maybe.
I mean, for a little while.
And some people are talking about spies too. Like Wolani's saying it could be a spy. You know,
like a Charlie situation.
Yeah, could be somebody in our own group. There's 36 people we haven't met yet, so it could be any one of them.
It's definitely Tess.
I thought it was Tess for a minute.
That would suck, especially after you like kind of accept her a little too.
Guys, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I will see you guys next week for the next epic show. And like Dave said, pay attention to those Comic-Con promos and our Walker Stalker stuff. And we'll see you all there.
Bye, Maggie.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Meg.
So there's a whole thing about 36 Nistarim, like the hidden sages, basically. I got to get into this because it's just so freaking crazy. Okay, so why he talks about this is that John and June kind of mentioned, we have 36 people total in our group, right? And especially after they did the head count. And the real concept is these are people who are righteous people around the world. They don't know that they are the righteous people, and they don't know each other. That's the other thing. But when circumstances of crisis emerge, they kind of come out and they're like the Mr. Rogers of the universe. They help where is necessary, and then they go back into hiding, to being concealed, like hidden. Like so they still don't know who they are. And sometimes the righteous people can point out another righteous person, but they don't talk about it. It's another one of the traits that these people have is humility.
Okay.
So they don't blow the other person's spot. Yo, I got you back. I'm going to forget about you. See you later. The biggest concept of that is that, and I'm surprised that they didn't bring it up, is that there are 36 special concealed righteous people in the world. And were it not for all of them, and even one of them were missing from this world, the world would immediately come to an end, which is interesting. Because it's these people, these 36 people that keep the world moving, in a righteous path. So what I really like about this is it kind of goes back to something Morgan said in the last episode. He said, I think if we weren't here, I don't think there'd be anybody left to see those tapes. So I thought that was kind of like a cool little connection to the last episode. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting what you said right there. But like, I highly recommend, and I only picked this up from Wikipedia, but I did learn about this growing up. I highly recommend any one of you to look up. It's Tzadikim Nistarim. So it's Tzadikim, and then Nistarim is Nistarim. Just go into it because it's kind of bizarre. It's bizarre, and it's kind of like the Avengers almost. Like it's like these people have, and they kind of, some of these people exhibit like mystical supernatural powers, like there's like transcendence, and there's moving objects within starting fires with their minds.
Oh my gosh,
like
that is crazy.
There's different types of stories. There's like, so think of like Jesus on crack. Like some of these people can do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I just love the concept, and like I like the idea that like if it not for these 36 people in the world, that the world would come to an end. It's like it's all on their shoulders. Like they're like the last stand. And so that like our convoy group, last stand.
Yeah, that's like very that symbolic. Yeah. My first thought when he said that was, well, if he joins us, he'll be number 37. So he's just going to throw everything off.
Well, you can have more than 36.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's like in any given region or whatever, like, so, but like in the world total, if there's only 36 left, that's it. This is the backbone. Yeah, and like these people are the things that these people bring up the divine presence. It's like pretty cool.
I thought it was really, really cool that he kept the traditions up and just kept going through all these things. And I mean, I was really, really touched by it, like right in the beginning, like going through all the ceremonial things and the, phrases and everything. And then at the very end when he's like, I don't really believe in God. I'm like, what? Okay. Like all that. I mean, I was really feeling that. And then I'm like, okay, well then what was all that for? Just going through the motions or what, man? That was really upsetting.
And yeah, that's what it was. I love that idea. I love how real and raw that is. Like how honest that is too. Like I think all of us do that in a way. We all get into this rhythm just because that's what we know.
Yeah.
And then we may not even believe in it.
I mean, do you really think I still felt like, even though he's said what he did to Charlie, I don't believe in God. I had lost my faith. I feel like even just by doing that, he still had some sort of faith. Like he didn't completely lose it because he's still doing this.
It is a concept in Judaism too, by the way. There is a concept. There are like stages of faith too. Like,
okay.
I think the problem is that like the first premise is the idea that there is a God. You know, like okay, that's the entering stage, and then there's like observance and blah blah blah. But there is a school of thought that people talk about in the Tamid where it's like, if you are in a crisis of doubt, like just keep doing the rhythms, like keep doing the observant part. And then there may come a time where your mind changes. And so I think that's what the rabbi actually does.
Yeah.
Interesting to me because that does kind of follow that kind of tenet. It's like saying, if you do have doubts, just keep doing. There is a concept in Judaism there's a phrase that's called na'aseh v'nishma, which means do and then listen. Like,
okay.
Which is odd because most people will not do unless they know what they're trying to do. Like, like tell me what this is all about before I start doing it.
Right. No, you do it and then you find your reason.
Right. And I think a lot of Judaism is doing and then learning afterwards why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like kashrut is a huge one. I think most Jews cannot tell you why you can't have milk and meat together.
Yeah.
But they don't do it. And they'll learn about it later why, and
yeah.
I think
that's faith in general too. I mean, that's basically what faith is. Do this, believe in this, and it'll be worth it if you have faith.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a pretty heavy concept for people to really be asked to swallow. But I think the fact that he keeps doing it, but the way he frames it, I think that's really important that he framed it in this way, is that I like that he was just being honest and saying, here's all I got left.
Yeah.
Like it's all that was left. And you know why that's important? Like Sarah and Dwight were in the cab also. And he was like, how did you keep your shit together? Like, is it the idea of this lady, this lady you're trying to go after? And he said, to be honest, yeah, sort of. And then he goes into the walkers.
Yeah.
Contemplates these walkers, like how far they must have gone. And like walkers are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere you look. It's everything you're looking out for. And so that becomes kind of a rhythm, right? There's this kind of big parallel between what Dwight does to keep himself going and what the rabbi does to keep himself going.
Sure.
The rabbi's is a little less threatening.
Yeah.
But I kind of admire that there's this kind of interesting kind of thing going on here.
Yeah. He continually refers to God as a she too. Is that just a character quirk?
I think he goes back and forth.
Yeah.
If you notice in the episode, like, I mean, obviously you and me we're taking notes, but like he calls the Ner Tamid a she. Then he calls it later.
The flame. Right?
Yeah, the flame itself.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Which I can explain that one too, but then I don't really think he's ever really referred to God as a she, but I think it's interchangeable.
Well,
it's fine.
She sent you to me. He's referring to the flame.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
I took that as God. I took it as God.
I think
and
a
then
lot
he
of
says
other
it a
people
couple more
did
times too.
Yeah. I think he refers to the flame as a she, which is kind of interesting too.
I mean, because she's hot.
Yeah. And then the walkers dropped it like it was hot.
Right. Yeah. This was pretty heartbreaking for Charlie too, because I mean,
you can see her struggling for meaning and shit too. Like, I finally found something like stable.
Yep. And he's like, well, I don't even believe in God. And she's like, how can you say that?
She's like,
yeah, that was pretty much. Pretty much.
She's like deflated.
Right? I know that was pretty sad. Do we ever find out what she's looking for?
I don't think she has, but I think what we're resolved to kind of like really go with is that like if the rabbi's willing to kind of even after not believing in God keep trying to find this thing, because I remember he's at the end of it, can I ask you a question? I'm like, okay, you're starting to caricature yourself. but like why, like he's basically saying, why would you stop? Like why do you keep going? Why do you keep looking for a place that you don't think you're going to find? And like it doesn't matter. You have faith. Just keep going with your gut. You'll know it when you see it.
Yeah.
When you
I like that he
believe
points that out to June too. What if it's not out there? And she said, I can feel it. And he said, well, that's faith. I mean, that is a perfect way to describe it too. I feel like.
And I think more than just that though, here's the thing. Like I put it this way to most people. These pair-ups are a lot of me looking at the other person and finding out what I'm missing, you know? So like Charlie's looking at the rabbi and saying, I'm missing this. And the rabbi in the beginning of the episode is saying to her, like, it took you 2 minutes, what took me 8 years in yeshiva to finish. Morgan and Grace. Morgan is saying hello, saying goodbye to his family, and Grace is trying to say hello to a relationship. Alicia and Wes is a really good example, because Wes figures out the answer way ahead of time, but he loses faith. And Alicia is struggling for the answer and has been through some shit, you know? So like, it's like these two people need each other, they just need to connect. Yep. But like what I took this, now going back to the end of the episode, I think what the rabbi's trying to tell June and Charlie is that like, and this is the missing ingredient, and I think we're finally starting to connect, is that you know, look, if I'm willing to believe and keep looking, I think if we make a promise to keep having faith in what we believe the ideal is, I think we're going to succeed. I think it takes, and that's another Jewish concept, but I think it takes a group of people all believing together, and then you persevere. And in Judaism, the more powerful prayers are not the ones that are alone. It's when you're in a group of 10, which is called a minyan. You know, when you have, it's like unlocking it's like, you know, crowdfunding, like when you have a certain amount of people or a certain amount of money, you can unlock certain like prizes, like in the crowdfund. Okay, that's what this concept is. When you have 10 people praying at once, like, and
more blessings open up.
You're allowed to actually make more blessings.
Okay,
like specific kinds of blessings when you have a certain amount of gathering. So the ideal is having at least 10 people, and then you can have a whole prayer session. You know, it's interesting. But by the way, were you confused when the rabbi's watch was going off? And he was saying Hashem is calling?
Yeah. I assumed it. Well, no, I don't. I had an assumption, but then it didn't make sense. So no, I didn't really understand the watch. Well, it was reminding him of something.
Why don't you tell me what you thought it was, and then I'll clean it up.
Well, I mean, he had all these, you know, traditions that he was carrying on and everything, and in my mind, his watch was reminding him like time to do the next one, because there's really no concept of time anymore. So if he's needs to do something at a specific time, his watch would have to remind him.
Well, actually, so you're actually on the right track.
Okay.
Jews pray 3 times a day.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, and so
like time for prayer.
Yeah, and it's all based on the solar calendar. So like basically whatever time of the day the sun is at, you have these specific prayers. So there's the morning prayer, which is shacharit, and then there's mincha, which is between noon and dusk, and then there's the ma'ariv, which he actually mentions to Sarah. He goes, I'm about to pray the Ma'ariv. You want to join me?
Yeah.
But that's another thing that was wrong too, because the Ma'ariv is between dusk and night, night in the morning. So you can pray.
It should have been darker out.
Yeah, it should have been darker.
Yeah, it should have been dark out when
I did my classic.
Yeah, and he could have just said the other one, and it would have been completely accurate.
If it was mincha, it could have been. Yeah,
could have been fine. Okay. Would have been accurate. No, he is a Jewish actor, right?
He is. He's.
But, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Peter
shouldn't he have known this?
Hollywood Jews. What can I tell you?
Okay. All right. Well, you know, not practicing. Sure. Okay.
Some of those concepts, though, are like, I don't blame him for getting Tzadikim Nistarim wrong. That is heavy shit. That is really heavy mystical shit that only Madonna and really religious Jews know. So, with their little red bracelets. It's a common joke between like really Orthodox Jews, Orthodox Jews in general is like, yeah, it's Madonna and all these religious guys with beards. Yeah, they're the only ones that know. And Madonna with the red string. The red string is supposed to like have this Jewish mysticism about like certain sages and rabbis. When you look at the string and it reminds you of the sages, it's kind of like Ner Tamid, by the way. The idea of Ner Tamid is the omnipresence of God, the everlasting flame. Mm-hmm. Or like the Smiths, there is a light that never goes out. That's what they should have called it too, by the way. Miss Mazel saying, I lived in Israel briefly and we shut down business to pray. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. So it's a lot like Islam in that sense. Islam has, I think, 5 to 6. I usually get this one wrong, but it's like at least 5 times a day praying. Yeah. Jews, it's just the morning, noon, and night, technically, you know, within the time frame. But it's still a lot. Like we used to think that this is a lot. This is excessive.
No.
But yeah, when his watch was going off, it was like, okay, this is about when I should be praying. So
gotcha. All right. So I was kind of on the right.
Yeah. I just thought the funniest scene, though, in my mind, was the awkward giving the John Dory the kippah thing, the yarmulke.
Oh, right. Was he like awkward. Asking him to have respect in the temple?
Yeah, in a sense.
All right.
I always find that very, very awkward because I know most rabbis don't really care. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not Jewish, don't pretend like you're Jewish, right?
I feel like it would be blasphemous for someone who's not Jewish to wear a yarmulke. Like I would find it disrespectful.
No,
but is that not the case?
I think a lot of Jews kind of find it like it's nice that they show a sign of respect, but
okay, all right.
But I also think it's like not necessary. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's kind of like, well, you're not Jewish, so you're not obligated. A lot of like Judaism is like, if you're not obligated, you don't have to do it. And in some cases, like if you're not obligated, you're not supposed to do it, right?
Gotcha. My cousin's wife is Jewish. Her family is very, very devout Jewish, and at their wedding, they had like a basket of yarmulkes for all the men and everything. And I'm like, and I'm like, do I wear one? And I was just very, I was very confused, and then I felt bad asking questions like, should I know this? And it was all uncomfortable because I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I didn't know what to do. So
I always find it like really, really bad form when somebody acts like, oh, you should know this. Like that.
How should I know? Yeah, exactly. And my reaction would be, how should I know this? Who's going to teach me? I'm a Presbyterian. Who's going to teach me this? Right? Who's going to teach me these things? So this is your moment. This is your moment to educate me. So don't make me feel bad about it. Just tell me what to do.
Judaism is all about asking questions too. Like, I mean,
I should have been Jewish then. That's all I do is ask questions.
I feel so stupid. Well, if you were Jewish, you'd be like right at home.
Yeah. All I do is ask questions. I have 1,000 questions about everything.
Yeah. Well, it's good. So that's why I chose you to be on the show. Because you ask questions that everybody else does have, though. Like all these things that you're saying are things I want you to ask because I think that, some people miss it or some people aren't clear on something. Like, and that's why I asked you to tell me what you thought of what that beeping meant. And then I could just clean it up because there's no shame in it. Everybody has them. I don't like the idea that people feel stupid that they can't ask these kind of questions.
I don't ever feel stupid for not knowing something that I have never been informed about. And how are we ever going to get the information if we don't ask the questions? And I have no problem putting my hand up and going, I'm an idiot. Can you slow it down and talk to me like a 4-year-old? Because that's where I'm at in this process.
And look at you picked up Slack so quickly.
Yeah, see, I'm on there and everything.
Wait till I teach you how to thread conversations.
I don't even know what you just said.
Exactly. I will teach you after this class. This yeshiva class. I know we missed a bunch of stuff, but I think this I like the idea of Sarah Binowitz, obviously. I like how she asks about Yom Kippur and he's like, oh, it's still a while away. It's and I wrote in big letters, it's too early for Ma'ariv.
Right. But we can blame that on the writers though, right?
A little bit, but I think Peter Jacobson should have known.
Could have spoke up and said, we should probably say this instead of that. Yeah.
Or maybe it was a timing thing. Maybe Ma'ariv sounded a lot better. Or maybe he was doing it on purpose so the Jews could complain.
Maybe they were supposed to make it look dark outside. Maybe they dropped the ball in editing. Who knows?
That's a really good point, actually.
Who knows?
But that's funny. Do you remember how I was saying that last week the editor was Potato Lover, the Instagram handle? Yeah. I was wrong, but he is on this episode. So yes, let's blame you. And now I get to put him on the credits and hopefully he'll listen to that part.
Well, it's funny because, a lot of, you don't realize, but they'll shoot a scene at noon and then they'll edit it to make it look like it's midnight.
That was all of season 4.
Yeah. So, the actors themselves, he might not have known to speak up, I guess.
Yeah. It's very possible. Let's go into sneak peeks because I think the only thing that was worth really bringing up was... I
don't think I saw this. I didn't see a sneak peek for next week.
Well, that's good. See, again, questions that need asking that only you can ask.
Yeah.
But the only thing I did want to bring up before the end, because it was at the end, is that Dwight is no joke. He knows he's kind of been around the Saviors long enough to know when somebody's playing. And Dwight thinks Logan is distracting them. Like he doesn't know what's going on. But I like how I wrote
withdrawing them away.
Yeah,
with what he did.
I literally wrote Dwight's asshole chased them out of the way so that Logan and Doris, I remembered her name now, Doris could get to the oil fields. Yeah. So I'm kind of. Were you kind of like upset? I mean, I wasn't expecting it because I kind of was expecting this dude Rolly to kind of, I don't know, go away from the show or be a good guy.
I expected him to make a good turn. I did, and I'm still counting on it. I'm not counting him out just yet. I think something might happen before the end of the season, and I mean just the fact that he's here and Dwight gave him another chance. I'm going to hold out hope that Dwight's asshole will make a turn for the good.
That never gets old.
No.
We're never going to let it go. Unless he dies, then we'll have to.
Oh, Dwight's asshole died.
Dwight's asshole's last stand. His last peep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely prepared to be wrong, which I am a lot of times, but
yeah.
I don't think they do things not on purpose. Everything they do is on purpose. Yeah. And the fact that Dwight had this scene with him and, got to him, maybe not. I think that's going to come
wrong.
It could go really, really wrong, and maybe something bad will happen, and then Dwight will blame himself for the bad thing because who knows? It could go a lot of different ways, but I'm going to hope that Dwight's asshole helps us out. I think he's going to make a turnaround.
We turn into toddlers after midnight. I think that's what happens. It's not right. After midnight yet, but yeah.
Close enough.
Sneak peeks next week. And Logan is right about where the oil fields are. So there are certain questions are answered finally about Wendell and where the kids and all that. And Luciana, they're all at the quarry, which is where the actual refineries are. Yeah.
Okay.
Where they're pumping the oil. Dwight's asshole gets jumped by Sarah and Dwight. How does that work? I don't know physically. And the quote is, "Some fellas do anything to avoid for asking for directions." And so they pop out of these little those little horizontal ice boxes,
Okay.
Yeah, in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And they kind of Shanghai or ambush Dwight and his men, or no, Rolly and his
Dwight's asshole.
Right, Dwight's asshole. How does he do that? I don't know. Anyway. So Doris is actually pointing all the guns at Logan, like really frustrated. She said, "You said this would be a ticket to the promised land, and the kids are there and blah blah blah." And this is while the oil fields are on fire, so something's going on here. Oil fields are burning. Walkers are stumbling into the quarry, and the oil fields are in the quarry, which is the kind of this joke that Logan is saying. Oh, that Clayton always had a sense of humor, blah blah blah, like getting oil from the rocks. Like getting blood from a stone.
Right.
The rabbi's putting a couple more walkers down, so he's kind of active in this episode.
Good.
We get to see him a little bit more. I think Tess
he's
too.
Earning his keep.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Sarah, there's like these little juxtaposed scenes where like Sarah, we help people, and then Logan, survive. This is survival of the fittest. So there's these two diametrically almost opposed, which they don't have to be mutually exclusive, but
right. So did you say earlier that you said Doris had a gun on Logan, and she said this was supposed to be our ticket to the promised land?
Yeah.
Interesting. Didn't we talk about that last week too? About the oil being the ticket into the Commonwealth?
Yeah, because the way he phrased it, I was amused. I was very amused with like the way he put we got a ticket to the promised land, and like they show a synagogue. And I just love that idea. But that was the linchpin. Like when I saw the sneak peeks and what he said specifically, like all those pieces just fit for me. There's no way this has nothing to do with the Commonwealth, in my opinion. Some people say it's a barter system, like, oh, he's made a deal with a person in there. It's like, I'll get you all the oil you need. I just need control. And then the Commonwealth is in business, baby. They don't have to be vulnerable anymore. I say it's literally just, I think he knows about them, and I think that he's trying to crash the party. This is basically Isabel's morning coming to life.
I don't think he made a deal with someone. I think he's doing this in hopes that if he shows up with something that they need, they'll let him in. I think he's going to show up to the Commonwealth hoping and praying that they're going to let him in because he has something they need.
So like a mixture of those two things, like kind of a barter, but also kind of like, I'm getting in here. I'm in.
Look what I have for you. Give me sanctuary.
Yeah. he might be, if you took like stock of Logan, it's not outside the realm of possibility that they would take him. He's kind of ruthless, or he's making himself be ruthless. I see a lot of Wes in Logan, though. I know I mentioned this last week. It bears repeating, though. Or who we know as Wes.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I don't feel like I know enough about Wes to draw that comparison.
Well, though, by that I mean in the sense where I feel like Wes is trying really, really hard to not care. And he says as much a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because then he gets pissed off about that Alicia made him care, right?
Yeah.
He made that comment.
Yeah. And I think Logan's the same way. I think Logan has just had more years.
I think you nailed it on the head when you compared Logan to Gavin. He's just like, ugh.
Yeah, like midway between Gavin.
Come on. Yeah. Like,
and
come
somebody
on.
else?
Can we just do
Xander,
this already?
who was it? Gregory.
Gregory? Oh, see, I don't see any Gregory in him.
Logan
Logan has a spine.
There's a little bit more charm. Well, there's one thing about Gregory that he had was the ability to talk and to kind of wheedle his way.
Yeah, that silver tongue.
Yeah, but then like that middle management kind of attitude, like, I don't want to have to do this, but I'm going to have to.
Right.
I'm Matt Frewer. So there's a little bit of that going on, but I think it's just that like Logan has more miles on the odometer, which it's easy for him to like not care, whereas Wes is still young, like very young.
Wes should care because he's so young. Like he should, be feeling like there should be more to life than this. How do I find life again? Blah 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 blah.
It's the testosterone. It's testosterone. Get to get in the way. I don't know why I'm talking Italian or like an Italian accent. It's testosterone. Anyway,
Italians drip testosterone. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know. We know about the testosterone. So there's another Flash. The Highwayman.
What? Girl Colby.
Yeah, Girl Colby.
Yeah.
But do you think
Girl
this?
Colby.
I really have this weird feeling that maybe this is like their birth or something. Like that maybe they came from Texas.
Maybe, or maybe
people enjoyed their story.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know what they're calling themselves right now either.
Mm-hmm.
Do we? I mean, that wasn't in the clip, right?
No,
I didn't see the clips. We didn't get in.
There were silhouettes in the background, like on horseback. That's it. That's all.
Very high. Yeah, a very highwayman feel though.
Yeah. With
drawing parallels. Chris is going to be mad.
Well, based on what we see, you never know.
Yeah, and we still don't really have like a big bad for this season. Like there's not one bad person. There's bad situations.
That's something I kind of wanted to bring up too, because it's kind of like, I do want to reiterate that why doesn't Logan just kill? He's not killing. I don't think it's because
I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think
he needs help. Like we set up all these people in every single episode for us to get used to the idea that we're just here to help. Mm-hmm. I think Logan's in a situation. I think he's talked up too good a game, and he got himself stuck in a situation that he can't get out of.
Doesn't want to ask for help.
I don't think he thinks he needs the help just yet. I think when the guns start pointing at him,
and he's like, oh shit.
And the question really is do you think the group is gonna help him? And I feel like they fucked up the first time by not asking, at least just asking him the first time, like, we can give you the gas, dude. Mm-hmm. It's something that Dwight said to Morgan, said like, we refused something that he needed. I thought that's what we were all about.
Right.
That was in the mall episode. Like, so we're gonna have to broach this point again, maybe in the next episode, maybe in the episode before that or after that. But like, it's clear Logan probably doesn't deserve the help, but I think
he hasn't killed anybody yet.
If they're being real, exactly. He hasn't killed anybody yet either.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised that the rest of the group kind of agreed to that. The rest of those people. So
right. Well, was it Morgan or Sarah who offered him the gas? Said, just tell us what you need. We'll give it to you. Yeah, whatever you need. Yeah, whatever you need, we'll give it to you. And he was like, nah, I want the whole thing. I want all of it.
Don't care how I want it now.
Right?
I want it now.
Which also made me think, like, whatever Logan's ulterior motive is here is a big deal. Like, well, he keeps saying, this is bigger than you. It's bigger than us. Whatever,
it's so big that, like, and that's what kills me is, like, if it's that big, why wouldn't you kill? Right? Like, get him out of the way, get to the oil fields, and we're done. Like, maybe now that he's found them, that's lifted. Maybe. Right? Because if you kill enough people, people just shut up. They'll shut down and try to run away.
Sure.
But keep them alive long enough and they're kind of in the same area, you can interrogate them later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, there is one more. Let me see. Yeah, there is one more little factoid. So do you remember at the beginning of the season? Let's go back to episode 1. What was one of the coolest Walker distracting devices?
The bird box.
And what do they use to power the pumps? Little tiny bird boxes, like 4 of them.
The merry-go-round.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You use the merry-go-round metaphor, and then you have all 4 walkers chasing after the little bird boxes, and they're just pumping the crude oil from the ground. It's a perpetual motion machine, folks. We solved clean energy.
Yep.
With
it's really smart.
dirty, dead people.
It's a great idea, though.
Yeah, definitely. I love that idea. It's just funny. It's just funny. We solved the crisis.
But practical. Yeah.
And the way only dead people can do.
Right. Exactly.
I think that says it all.
Yeah, 5 o'clock's gonna come real fast.
Ooh, girl Colby.
Girl Kobe. I'm excited for Girl Kobe.
Yeah, and speaking of smushy walkers, the walker right in the beginning, right after the Kessner and Charlie scene, you see the next frame is when the convoy sets up, and they're really efficient. They run over that one walker like a billion times until nothing is left.
That was awesome. I really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, we're just getting a lot of this stuff near the beginning of these episodes, and it brings a smile to my face. Every single
I really
time.
liked it, and he got very, very flat, and I'm like, Yep. It's exactly what would happen.
This is what it means to be American.
Yep.
And then I blew fireworks in my backyard. America.
And drinking burr.
I did like that bayonet that he had. I didn't notice it was a bayonet until like later on, but cool, good on you, Rabbi. All right.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, that's a great weapon.
Just in little cute things like Sarah, when the convoy's there, she throws down a welcome mat from the truck. Like from Sweet Home.
I totally forgot about that, but it was awesome. Oh, I laughed so hard. My husband was in the kitchen. He came running back out here. He's like, what?
And you're like, it's not even a big deal, but like,
no.
It's just how cool Sarah is.
Yeah, it was great. Home sweet home. I loved it.
I mean, she's turning out. She's shaping up to be like this Jewish female Lady Abraham.
Yeah.
Like in like a way more dimensional way, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm gonna be bold and say this, but I think she's more Abraham than Abraham. You know.
What? I don't know.
In a way,
no.
Like
Abraham's whole thing was military and
she was military
and
too.
Was she?
She was in the Marines.
But she's not hard like I would expect a Marine to be.
No, because she left because of some shit. Yeah,
sure.
But there's that. But her one-liner is just so funny. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Abraham's was like all about dingleberries and nuts and
Where's Deanna? Who's Deanna?
But like Sarah's is like, they're funny. They're genuinely like funny sounding.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's like I said, it's a bold statement, but like if you kind of add the numbers up.
I don't know. I don't know that I would put one. I don't know that I would put one above the other. I think the necessity for their one-liners are equal playing field.
Hey, we said parallels.
It's true. Yeah. And really, couldn't you really do that with? I mean, if you try hard enough, you could draw parallels from anything. I'm sitting here, that 70 shows on TV right now. If I tried hard enough, I could tell you who every character on this show is related to Fear the Walking Dead and why. And I feel like if you try hard enough, you can make those parallels appear.
And well, there's a reason for that too. Like a lot of what makes a good story is that the characters are archetypes. They symbolize a greater narrative.
Yeah.
So if you weren't able to draw those parallels, it probably isn't a good story to begin with. Meaning, like you get lost in what the nuance is about the character rather than what they represent, or all the different things that they represent. So, which is why we can often draw parallels from a character from even one story to a completely different one, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why I'm even bringing this up is that like Jess and I, Jessica T. Kaz and I had this conversation about like what it means to be Jewish and being represented in a story, in a narrative, and I gave a kind of confusing answer. It was kind of more like, I mean, there's a lot of talk about these days about like representation in Hollywood and in television and what that means. And I often think about this, and it's like, I don't think, and it's because of archetypes that I don't really care about representation. I never really cared about representation. And don't worry, I'll eat my words in a second. But I never really cared about it at all. And I still don't really, because characters represent archetypes. That transcend culture. You know, they represent good and evil and confusion and innocence and mean-spiritedness and greed. And these are all things that transcend culture, transcend all these things. And so that's why I never really cared about like representation. However, as you all you hosts witnessed me flipping out about the first few minutes, watching the first 5 minutes of this episode, there was a sense of like, this is really cool. Like, there's a narrative that I instantly connect with because I know the background. I know what he's doing. I know that whole ceremony for the post-Sabbath blessing. And he's doing it exactly like, that's the one thing that they nailed down almost tightly, you know, that scene was just so done so well because it accurately reflected what Jews do after Sabbath, you know, those blessings. So, and like, I'm not even like an Ashkenazi Jew. Like that's like the Eastern European Jews. Like I'm a Sephardic Jew. I'm like Middle Eastern or Spanish, you know, of descent. So it's not even like done the same way that we have way more blessings, but it's the idea and I'm familiar with it too.
Sure. But you didn't know you were missing it until it happened.
Yeah.
And then it happened and you're like, wow, this is how good people feel when they're represented on a show.
Yeah. And like I said, like I will take it a few steps back. I was like, I don't think it's necessary. Oh, necessary? No. Yeah, I don't think it's required.
No.
I think it would be nice. And that's really how it felt. It felt really nice. It felt really, really nice. You know what I mean? Like, it feels good. I mean, I don't, and that's the thing, like, it really does kind of go back to what we do and why we do it. Like, we love the show. It's just when you add these things, I love it even more. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Like, or at least love this episode because I'm instantly familiar with it. It's like watching your cousin doing acting. Like,
you feel more connected
cousin, but
to
I see
it
him
now.
on the screen. Like, you know,
you just feel more connected.
Yeah.
I never really thought about representation until other people started talking about it, and then I never even thought about it, and then I did because people started talking about it, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know who could represent. I mean, that's probably why I relate mostly to Carol because she's a mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of like women, and I think there's a lot of single mothers who probably really get where she's coming from. Single mothers who've lost children, single mothers who've had miscarriages, married couples that have miscarriages, married couples that lose a child.
Or even to have a child and think about what you would do and how you would feel in that situation.
Oh yeah.
I constantly think about my son.
Look at what it's done for veterans, like too. Like, you're talking about people who've been through some traumas, and they see themselves in these characters.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so, like, there is something to be said about certain representation ideas or representations that should definitely have been done sooner and better than the way. Because I think that's part of it is the idea of, it's not only about representation, but it's about accurate representation. Because I think both Jews and blacks have had it rough. I mean, more blacks than Jews, because Jews have just like, okay, you fumble a prayer here, that doesn't even sound like Hebrew there, that's not a real thing, or like, you know, like that happens. But Jews kind of prefer that, because Jews, and I've said this before, like, classically Jews have preferred to be in the dark about like their religion. There's a sense of like, okay, the less people know what we actually do, the better, because we don't want people to know our business. Like, we're very private people. Like, we would rather people don't even know we exist. Like, that's how they get you, you know, that's how they get you. Like, when they know about it. Especially
I think that's a big part of religion in general too, is the way I was raised and grew up anyway, is you don't shove it in people's faces. You got questions, I'm here to answer, but we're not trying to shove anything down your throats. I'm going to be over here, that's it.
And that kind of dovetails exactly with what Wilani just said. She said people learn more that way, like I did tonight. Like, it's not, it's just there, it's not, hey, be Jewish.
Right.
Which is what Jews don't like to do anyway.
It's just a glimpse into what goes on and what's important, I think.
Yeah, I think there's like some sort of narratives did need to be propagated, you know? I think they needed to be done correctly. I think I do think I don't think it's but I still don't think it's, you know, like necessary. I think certain things do need to happen so that people see things the way they more or less generally are. That's important. Like, I think we got more than what most people generally get, which is more than I ever expected, which is why I had the reaction that I had. And that's the thing. It was disproportionately in the more accurate realm of things than in the more accurate realm of things, like more specific. That's a better word. Specific realm of things, and how accurate it was in that specificity. That's what got me a little excited, because it was kind of like, wow, they took some notes. They took some goddamn notes. And that was really, I was impressed. I was very impressed with it. Even though they got a couple of big things wrong, like, I didn't care, because and it's not even the representation. It's the idea that this is an archetype. This is a character that this person's playing, and they're trying to play this off so that there's a connection. You know, it gets the audience to have a connection with, and that's the most important thing, that the audience connects with the character in whatever they are trying to represent, and what they're trying to say, and what they're trying to hide, and who they're trying to be. And that's I think the most important part, you know?
I agree. I get extra excited when things are very authentic like that too. Not just religion, but anything. Anytime there's a scene that is extremely authentic and detailed, I get really, really excited, because that means someone did their job. And I like that.
Yeah. And you know what? The word that you use, authentic, is mutually exclusive from accurate, right? Because authentic, you can make mistakes, you know?
Sure.
The idea of authenticity is that he's faithful to the character. He's faithful to what he's trying to do. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know? But like the fact that they're trying to go and stick with this idea of a person, like even like it goes back to Father Gabriel too. Like he was not perfect, but like the idea of, you know, this is a man who's scared, who is confronted with his faith, who's trying to reconcile what the world has become with what his faith offers, and he gets locked up. You know, he gets locked up here, and that's what always kind of intrigued me about Father Gabriel. Like, I was not necessarily sympathetic, but I really tried to step into his shoes and say, what would I have done if I was this person? And so in that, he was authentic.
I don't think you would have locked the doors on your parishioners. If they were alive, they were alive.
Oh, see, I don't think you know what's going on, though. Like, as a person.
When you hear people screaming, help us, let us in, you know they're alive.
Yeah.
Zombies don't talk.
What if they're saying, I'm a suck your dick, Father, come on, let me in? Like he's like, oh, no.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah, don't proposition your priest.
Because what if that's what it sounded like? Do you know what I mean? Like, what if that was like what he was witness to, like the world, not only like the dead rising, but like then people like acting like Satan's minions, like
depraved people.
Because I guarantee you that's part of it too. Like, I guarantee you that's what turned him off, because it's like what the rabbi was saying, and this is what must have happened to Gabriel now. So I'm thinking like he was already seeing what people are starting to do, like the way they were starting to act, like, you know, like the Negans started coming out of the woodwork.
Sure. Seeing people and how they act. Yeah.
And what they have to do to survive and stuff like that. So I mean, that's why I always kind of had some sort of sympathy for like Father Gabriel. Like, we never respected the Alexandrians for let's put him on a chart, like, because I respect Father Gabriel more than I did the original Alexandrians. Like, the original Alexandrians lived somehow unscathed,
sheltered, basically,
and ignorant was the thing. Like,
willfully
ignorant.
No,
like there's being ignorant, but then there's being willfully ignorant. Like, I don't want to know what's going on.
I could respect Gabriel more if he were not a priest. If he didn't do what he did, if he did what he did and he wasn't a priest, I would think very differently of him. I would. But a person in his position, and I think we kind of covered this earlier too, how these clergymen are set higher above. They are expected to have higher morals than we are. Right. And I think Gabriel dropped the ball on that. I mean, so, I mean, that's why I was not on Team Gabriel from day one, and I'm still just for me, he has not had a redemption with me.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, all that told me was like, it's kind of like what The Rock says, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, that's the thing. Like, the apocalypse doesn't care who you are.
No, but Gabriel
will
did.
Be tested.
He was very adamant. I mean, he still wears he wore the collar forever. I'm sorry. I feel like when he locked the doors, he lost that right. You're not a priest anymore. You're not Father Gabriel. You're just Gabriel.
He even said that, by the way.
What?
Yeah, he came to that moment too, where like he said he doesn't deserve to be this. Like,
but he still wore it
way early on. No, because he found a way. He found a way to kind of do that.
By stabbing our group in the back and ratting them out to Deanna?
Who's Deanna?
Who's Deanna?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe that got him a little respect.
I don't know. I think Gabe's out for himself, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, well, by the way, Walani was like saying, like, I think Gabriel's already in trouble with his parishioners before it hit the fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe. Who knows? That would be a very interesting backstory to know the truth of. People's opinions of Gabriel would probably change. Some for the good, some not. Maybe not. I don't know. But that would be I would like to know the truth of that backstory.
Yeah, I do kind of want to go back to his story again, kind of watch it take form, because I didn't like a lot of the things that he did, but then there were things that really just jumped him up many levels in my book later on. Like when he took Tamiel by surprise and he tried to redeem the group. He really tried his best to kind of fight his way into being a part of the group too. And there are certain things that happened in later seasons, like even season 9, like that really changed my mind about him.
See, and I don't know. My feelings were too little, too late.
Bitch.
Like, this is what it took? Okay, we know where you stand.
Use be a bitch forever. Yeah.
Kinda. I'm like, Rosita, what the hell do you see in this dude? For real.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's this flawed character that is still trying to claw his way into people's good graces.
I'd take 10 Eugenes over a Gabriel.
Whoa, that's 10 normal dudes.
Yeah.
10 every one of us.
10 normal, awesome dudes who are extremely smart over what? I can't, I mean, Aaron's strong. Eugene is smart. Sadiq is a doctor. What the hell is Gabriel? What does he do?
That's the thing about Aaron. Like, Aaron wasn't originally strong.
No,
that's what's interesting about his character.
He had other good qualities in the beginning, and then he became strong physically.
I think this is going to be Gabriel's season. I thought last year was going to be a little bit, but I didn't really get too much of it. But I think this year will be Gabriel's season.
Well, they're starting him off with some cute one-liners, so we'll see it goes from there.
Yeah, I think it has to be, because I think the audience knows, or sorry, I think the writers know that. Again, we could have done a little bit more with him.
Yeah.
I think they did. Yeah. I think they tried, and which is why I picked up and I said, I'm okay with him. I think he's good.
I don't know. He's invisible to me. I'm like, oh yeah, he's on the show. If they killed him off, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, and look, all of this is all valid. Everything you're saying is valid. I just hope, look, I know you better, and I know that if there is, like, your critique signals something that is lacking in the writing enough to kind of make you think twice about him. And that's the main thing.
Yeah, if they did something with him,
I'd change my mind.
I would feel differently.
Maybe.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Yep. I think everybody can be redeemed, but I guess it's up to the writers whether or not they get redemption.
Yeah. We're going to call this a night. What I'd like you to do after this, hopefully, if you would do me the honor, is give this thing a like. Leave a comment if you have any more questions. I think there are tons of questions in this episode that I'm happy, as a Jew, as a TWD podcaster, I'm happy to answer. I learned in yeshiva. I learned in modern Orthodox yeshiva until 12th grade. So I do know quite a bit about some things. I have to go to school about some others, but other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Leave a like, and don't waste your time rating us in iTunes and Stitcher unless you're going to be entering in the giveaway, because you'll get points for doing that. So do leave a like on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher, and then you copy and paste what you wrote in your entry and wait 36 hours, 48 hours, and then I can see it confirm, and then I'll give you the points. Because those are a lot of points. It's like 5 points. And this is all to get that cameo.com shout out from a TWD or Fear TWD cast member. So join today. SQUAWKINGDEAD.com. Hit the merch store up. It's SQUAWKINGDEAD.com. Main menu merch. And New York Comic-Con will be there on October 3rd. That's the Thursday night of New York Comic-Con. Walker Stalker Atlanta. We will be there. We will have a table. I'll give you all the deets on what we're trying to do, but we're going to have some free shit. Just come over. This will be your safe space. Like, your space to put down your stuff and then not have to talk to anybody, and we'll love you forever and just be there. You're fine. Other than that, I love you guys. It's Mazel. Welcome back. I missed you so much. Milani, it's not an episode without you. And Tom, I know you're not there, but I appreciate you and I love you so much. And thank you for always joining us.
Tom's always there.
We'll try to do Sunday night. I have a feeling that we will not be able to do Sunday night, but I will let you know. Okay? In the meantime, until the next episode, thank you, Rachel.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.